Yeah, the press conference started. Let's go ahead and take it over here.
Since this moment, since the early stage,
just started if you're joining us.
ICE presence in Minneapolis.
An ICE agent has shot and killed a woman. We have the video.
We've had internally, we've been talking about it. They are not here to cause safety in this city. What they are doing is not to provide safety in America. What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust. They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets. And in this case, quite literally killing people.
I don't think we have any info on who the woman was, though, yet.
They are already trying to spin this as an act.
Our own DJ Dub's on the ground there. He might be checking in with us here shortly.
Of myself, I want to tell everybody.
Telling us what's up.
That is bullshit.
Bullshit!
This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted.
I'm not high enough for this bullshit.
Getting killed. As soon as it happened and we learned of the incident, we had several priorities. The first, of course, was to get the victim to the hospital and to get care as soon as possible.
The report I read said that she was shot 3 times, point blank in the face. So
there's nothing that I can say right now that's going to make you or your relatives or the friends of the victim feel any better. There were, I believe, 2 Minneapolis police officers that responded and were in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. The second was to get ICE off of the scene. There were dozens, if not hundreds, of ICE and federal officers that were there at the time.
Space Lord, welcome in. Soup.
Was only causing
my lord, warlord.
Having them there was only making a difficult situation even more problematic, and one that, yes, they created themselves.
Warlord, M-Lord, Space Lord, all the lords.
I can say, again, that'll make this situation better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do.
Wow!
Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you. And it's also on you to leave.
ICE also shot somebody and killed them in Chicago a few months ago.
Further damage, further loss of life, and
multiple people are dead.
Done. We're going to be working towards justice as quickly as we possibly can right now, and justice is what we've all got to get. Next, a message to our community. Look, we all know that the agenda of this Trump administration is to create chaos.
This is Mayor Jacob Fry of Minneapolis.
Let us respond right now with our best versions of self. This is a moment where all of us in Minneapolis and beyond, we can rise to the occasion. We can show them who we are. We can show them the kind of courage, bravery, love, and compassion that makes Minneapolis, Minneapolis, and that makes America, America. We are better than a bunch of ICE agents being deployed to cities around the country and ripping apart families and communities. We're better than that. And so we are going to meet that hate with love. We are going to meet that despair with
good question, Julie. Are we better?
We are going to meet that injustice with constitutional justice ourselves. And we're going to make sure that in this very
brother, constitutionally, the president shouldn't even be the president.
That these ICE agents are trying to create, and that the federal government, to be clear, wants. They want us to respond in a way that creates a military occupation in our city. They want an excuse to come in and show the kind of force that will create more chaos and more despair. Let's not let them. Let's rise to this occasion. Let's show them something far more beautiful than the kind of division that they're trying to stoke. Let's show them unity of purpose, of love, and the courage of our conviction. Our conviction, to be clear, is rock solid, and it is for our neighbors, all of our neighbors. It's for people who have lived here for 80 years. It is for new immigrants who have made this city a better place. That's the kind of love that we're going to show up with right now. If you're angry, I get it. I am too. If you're feeling that kind of despair, it's understandable. Let's show them who we can be. Let's show up with peace. To march, to protest, to hug one another, to love all the way with peace. Do not give them what they want. Finally, you know, we've got a lot of work that needs to happen right now to make sure that, first, of course, the scene was secured as much as possible, that we were able to get the victim, now deceased, to the hospital. We've got a lot of work to do in the coming days. I want to thank our city enterprise for the work that they have done, but more importantly, what they're about to do, because this is going to be heavy and our city has been through a lot. We also know that we're prepared to do right for people. Among them is our chief of police. I'll invite him up.
My name is Brian O'Hara, B-R-I-A-N, O''H-A-R-A.
ACAB means you too, Brian.
Police Chief. This morning, Minneapolis police officers received a report of federal law enforcement being involved in a deadly force incident, meaning shots had been fired. Minneapolis police officers responded to the scene. We arrived and found a woman with a gunshot wound to the head. Life-saving measures were performed at the scene, including CPR. The woman was transported to Hennepin County Medical Center, where she...
The ASL woman.
Deceased.
Oh my God.
The preliminary information that we have indicates that this woman was in her vehicle and was blocking the roadway on...
I shouldn't laugh. It's not funny.
Between 33rd Street and 34th Street in the city. At some point, a federal law enforcement officer approached her on foot, and the vehicle began to drive off. At least 2 shots were fired. The vehicle then crashed on the side of the roadway. Minneapolis police officers...
We have the footage. We'll show it to you here momentarily.
...and assisted in trying to preserve the evidence that is there. We have since turned over the scene both to the Federal Bureau of Investigation as well as the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension.
Yeah, we kind of shouldn't trust the feds on that one.
I want to thank the mayor, city council president, other members of the city council, state legislators that were on the scene. This has been a very difficult time for everyone in the city. And this is obviously a very, very tragic situation where a woman has lost her life. That being said, in addition to this tragedy, which unfortunately we did predict, we were seriously concerned about further escalation from the scene. And I want to thank the elected officials that came themselves to help us prevent that from happening, as well as the individuals on that scene that remained peaceful and that abided by law enforcement instructions so that we could preserve that scene and ensure that a full and transparent investigation can take place. That being said, I just echo the mayor's comments that we ask that the community continue to call for peace. We understand people are going to be upset about what happened, and people are going to want to exercise their First Amendment rights. But please do so safely and lawfully to ensure that we do not have any further tragedy in this city. Or
what's that pig doing?
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, council members. Commissioner, I'll open it to questions.
Any idea on the identity of the ICE officer who fired the shots at this point?
I don't have that information, no. The question was, is there an identity of the ICE officer that fired? I do not have that.
Yeah, I don't want them to turn it over to the feds. I want them to turn it over to Ellison, the state attorney general.
We've seen videos all over social media that someone tried to help us lady, and they were told they were pointing guns at and told to get away. Do you know about that at all?
So the question was, there's information out there that people tried to help the woman that was shot, and ICE officers then pointed guns at them and told them to leave. I do not have that information. I myself saw a video of the shots being fired as the...
I do not trust our federal agencies anymore, at all.
What I can tell you is the narrative that this was just done in self-defense.
If the FBI says something, I'll probably believe the opposite of whatever the FBI says.
It has no truth. And it needs to be stated very clearly, since we have already seen a video of it. I do not know as to what you're talking about.
And I think that's a shame, because once upon a time the FBI, while slanted, was reliable with their information, especially when it came to investigations on law enforcement.
The city's protocol when an observer or an activist calls 911 who's saying agent's phone or agent's pointing a gun at them. How does the city of Minneapolis handle that situation? Go for it, consider
Repeat it one more time. I missed the first part of what you said. And I'll turn it over to the chief, yeah.
What does the city do when someone calls 911 and a federal agent's
Oh, I see.
pointing a gun at
Yeah.
them? That sort of thing.
I'll turn it over to the chief. The question is, what does someone do when a federal agent is pointing a gun at them? Chief.
So, if I heard you correctly, the question is about when people call 911, what is the city's protocol in these situations? We've had a very dramatic increase in 911 calls related to this activity. We have a protocol in place that has been evolving.
You see feds call the local cops on them.
And at this time,
Cop on cop violence. Don't tell the cops you saw the feds. Tell the cops you saw suspicious people with guns.
and
Do it.
everything that we can to ensure that they are appropriately prioritized.
You see feds in the neighborhood, call your local authorities, all of them. These state cops, city cops, county cops. Call them all. Tell them there are strange men with guns in the neighborhood.
Was fatally shot. Was she there as a legal observer, protester, bystander? What do you know that you can share?
So the question was, what can I share about the deceased? There is nothing to indicate that this woman was the target of any law enforcement investigation or activity. This woman was in her car, and it appears then blocking the street because of the presence of federal...
Yeah, call them thugs. Call them gangs.
Happening not just in Minneapolis, but around the country. She appears to be
Call them
a
terrorists.
middle-aged white woman.
Chief, just about a month ago, you said these unplanned and questionable tactics by federal agents would result in someone being killed at a press conference right here. Do you consider today's tactics in line with that, or do you just have a generic response to the fact that somebody is now dead?
The question is that I had previously made several statements about being concerned about the tactics being employed. I am obviously very concerned that I have been told that a woman who was sitting in her car blocking the street and not the target of any enforcement activity is now deceased. However, I do not know, to be clear, I do not know the exact circumstances of the shooting, but I would tell you, in any professional law enforcement agency in the country, I think they would tell you it's obviously very concerning whenever there's a shooting into a vehicle of someone who's not armed. But it also is something that is possible. At times, it is justified. But it is very concerning, and it's something that most law enforcement agencies in the country train very intensely to try and minimize the risk that law enforcement officers get placed into a situation
Bullshit.
force would be necessary.
Has there been
I didn't hear the question, I'm sorry.
Police in the United States shoot more
Any indication
citizens
I guess getting back to the justification of this,
than every other G20 country
other than what I have
Was she
communicated.
alone in the car? Were there children in the
combined
The question was if she was alone in the car.
over 10 years.
I know that
Police in the United
I got there
States
shortly after this call came in.
shoot
I did
more
not see anyone else
citizens
with her while I was on the
in a year
however, I've since been
than every other G20 country
with her the entire time that a spouse
shoots in 10 years combined.
Just curious if you're thinking about contacting federal authorities to register your
And it's not even close.
personally making phone calls, et cetera.
Yes, we've been on the phone all morning.
But our cops are trained to de-escalate.
As soon as we learned about this, again, there were a series of priorities that we needed to go through. The first, of course, is to keep people safe and to help the victim in any way that we could. The second was to get ICE off of the scene. There was the notion that ICE agents would be necessary to create a perimeter around the scene itself. They themselves were creating the kind of dysfunction and chaos that they claimed to be trying to help with. And so the message that we delivered very clearly was to make them leave. Now, beyond leaving the scene, they should also leave our city and our state. You know,
We should deport them from the country.
does work. Our sheriff does work every single day to keep people safe in our city and in our state. And crime is dramatically down. Crime is down. It continues to trend down. They are doing the hard work of investigating, of arresting perpetrators of violent crime. What this
Shortly after the press conference here, they're going to go back to a live shot. I got multiple local news stations. They are still live. They'll probably go back to the scene.
Safety. It is not. It is having the opposite.
We're actually on the AP right now. If you want me to, I can switch it out. We can go to the local station. It's got a live shot in the inset picture. This is CARE, I believe, out of Minneapolis. CARE 11.
Is a federal agent if the feds don't. Is a federal agent if the feds don't.
So obviously, and I have to always lead with this caveat because it is true, an investigation still does need to be conducted. I had my perception of what took place, my perception of
God damn it,
the
YouTube.
vehicle and the vehicle's positioning.
Fuck me. This is KSTP at Minneapolis.
and the investigation is now being led jointly by the Federal Bureau
Still
of
gonna do it, isn't
Investigation,
it?
as well as the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. And the purpose of their involvement would be to investigate whether any state
Motherfucker.
laws within the state of Minnesota have been violated.
Can I just add something to that too? What's very important is that for our communities that we do.
No, it's
have
the ad blockers
some
on my browser.
investigation. It needs to be done.
Causing
on a local
YouTube
level.
YouTube
With all
trying to
respect
fuck with the ad blockers, so
on a
it's
local level. With all
it's
due
fucking
respect
with
to the federal
YouTube.
level, we do need to make sure that our local agencies are involved. Most certainly, the BCA is very well capable of working with our federal partners in doing so. That is something.
I'm sorry, you want ads on this shit? I don't. I refuse to pay for it. Anytime it gives me a free trial, I do it. Oh my God!
And peace and getting justice. That's what we need to be doing right now. I appreciate the service from everybody.
I hate you, YouTube.
As the 435,000 people that call Minneapolis home. Thank you.
Got some housekeeping for you in just a moment after everyone leaves.
All right, we've just been listening.
No, sorry you missed the end of the press conference, but now we're with the local station.
At 34th and Portland.
They'll take us to the live shot.
Of a woman, a middle-aged woman. They said a 37-year-old white woman shot in the head, shot twice. by an ICE agent. If you've been listening to the entire press conference, you heard Mayor Fry come out.
Okay, Kara said twice. My initial report that I read was 3 times.
City or state officials.
So she's saying twice.
That he wants ICE out of the city, using some colorful language to say, get out of Minneapolis. We do know ICE agents were cleared from that scene after the shooting just to try to calm the tensions as protesters in the crowd started to grow. The mayor clearly taking the tack that he believes this shooting was not justified after seeing some video of the shooting taken by a bystander. The police.
Speaking of the video, let's go to it right now. I gotta log into fucking god damn it. Wrong password. Of course it is. Wrong password. Right password. Here we go. This is the full video of what happened. This is the vehicle in question. This is the vehicle they're going. Pussy motherfuckers, man. Pussy motherfuckers.
No! Get the fuck out of our neighborhood!
Where are all the red-blooded Americans with the "Don't Tread on Me" flags? Come on.
It's a fucking crime. We fucking know it. We're here.
This is tough to watch.
Yeah, like what the absolute fuck, man? What the absolute fuck? Do you have a conscience? Do you have a conscience?
These thugs need to be taken down.
This is the time.
The community needs to
have a conscience.
needs to Mussolini these fuckers.
Okay. This is not okay. Get a fucking conscience.
Some people are gonna have to face justice with their lives, or this shit ain't gonna stop. I remember this was the flashpoint for the George Floyd protests, so I can't imagine that this death isn't going to spark widespread protests, more than what was already going on. This is happening because people were protesting ICE being in the community. I love that everybody is yelling murderer at them. They are murderers.
You okay, mommy?
We're gonna go back to the local news. Go back to let's see, KSTP has ended their coverage. Let's go back to, this is CBS News Minnesota. Oh my God, YouTube, you're fucking with me today.
direct conflicts between protesters and demonstrators, as you see people putting on their fists up. We've seen great conflict between protesters and demonstrators and federal agents as those federal agents attempted to leave the scene. I can tell you
this is live. We're back live.
We're using every non-lethal tool within their ability. We saw multiple chemical agents used. We saw tear gas.
Yeah, they have tear gassed the crowd for, protesting them killing somebody.
And even the rounds, you see they look almost like paintball guns with the rounds of pepper spray in there. I can tell you that at one point, there was a person who got directly tangled up with a federal agent who pushed that person to the ground. And I had my phone. I was standing right behind them trying to document what was happening. And from a direct standing over position, that federal agent fired one of those rounds of pepper spray right into that person's face. And he was bleeding, and again, a pepper spray. So just these really...
Yeah. We saw this footage earlier.
Between these protesters who are here on the scene and these, in that case, federal agents. I know you all have been saying this, but the context of this week cannot go without saying.
Fuck!
Earlier,
are you guys seeing this?
By top ICE officials that this is the biggest ICE enforcement effort ever. That is what was told. That's what's been repeated, is the fact that there are 2,000 federal agents on the ground in Minneapolis and the Twin Cities to carry out these ICE activities. And this, of course, comes after a months-long ICE push, which, of course, the Operation Metro Surge, where we saw over a 1,000 people arrested, Jonah and Aaron, during that. And we also saw clashes that turned violent in South Minneapolis. And we saw, those moments of the
violence all seems to be coming from the feds.
Really throwing snowballs, getting in the face of federal agents.
Oh, man, protesters threw snowballs at them.
That will be a topic of conversation over the course of the next several weeks, is if that federal agent felt their life was in danger. Of course, the statement we got from the feds said that that demonstrator was attempting to use their vehicle, weaponize their vehicle. The story we heard from neighbors and what we saw in that recorded cell phone video by a bystander was a federal agent attempting to go and open the driver's side door of that Honda Pilot. You saw the pilot then attempt to drive away, and that's when you saw that same federal agent who was attempting to open the door fire 3 shots point blank.
Now he's saying 3
to the car. I can tell you that those same neighbors said they saw.
Also, I don't think he is correct on that one. He just said that the agent that tried to open the door was the one that fired the shots, and I don't think that's true. I believe it was the other agent that was in front of him, because there were 3 around the car. We just watched the video. Shall we watch it again? Content warning. So this is the vehicle right here. Well, did seem to be 3 shots. So we now have confirmed. The other news station said 2. That was 3 shots. So that reporter got his facts wrong, and the federal agents drew guns on them as they were trying to render aid. Give me a second here as I try to get this fixed. Let me put this over here for a second. YouTube is fucking with me today.
I certainly hope that that continues. I just appreciate you so much, Max. Thanks. You added a lot to our coverage during George Floyd, and we appreciate your insight and your willingness to share it with us this morning here.
I'll second that, Max. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and thank you for keeping us all informed.
Yeah, you bet. All right. Max Nestorak, appreciate it. On the phone right now, we have Tom Heffelfinger, who has been a private attorney in Minnesota for decades. He was also the U.S. attorney from 1991 to 1993. So he has experience in federal prosecutions and joins us now on the phone. Tom, you're at a restaurant. I appreciate you taking time to join us on this very important coverage. Tom, can you hear us?
Thank you. This is a sad day. I'm happy to help.
Yeah, undoubtedly. Let me ask you first, Tom. As a former federal prosecutor, where do you start with this, and whose jurisdiction would this even be?
Well, that's the first question. It's probably both. The federal government has jurisdiction to conduct an investigation involving the violation of federal laws. But the state clearly has jurisdiction to investigate a homicide involving that occurs during that investigation. But here's the real question. Has there been a federal warrant issued, or even a state warrant issued, that would give jurisdiction to the federal?
Okay, I guess the problem was that I had the chat hidden. So now that I don't, I can actually turn it off.
Officers to do what
fucking
they
shit
have done in the course of their investigation. I don't hear.
One would have thought it would just behave in a way that would, not show the chat.
A warrant for arrest. What they're doing is they're confronting people without a warrant.
But in the case where their life might be in danger, would that matter?
Well, that's the question. Is their life in danger? That's
right.
not what I'm
That's
hearing.
the other question, right? Yeah, well, there's video now. We just aired it. Yeah. Go ahead, Tom. I'm sorry.
There's factual questions throughout this. And there's credibility issues throughout this. But ultimately, that's why you have...
Yeah, the feds ain't got no credibility.
In this case, a
federal... Oh, they're showing it from a different angle here.
State warrant issued by a judge. If a judge has reviewed the evidence and given the federal officer the authority to arrest...
Can't see as much from the angle they were showing.
The course of that lawful arrest is clearly the jurisdiction of either the federal or state. But I'm telling you, I think that this is one that either the feds or the state could pursue.
Okay, well, that's helpful information. Tom, you were at a restaurant, so I'm sure you did not hear the press conference. But we do know that woman was not at all the subject of she was not the person they were pursuing in this ICE raid, so there would not have been a warrant for her arrest. She did use the car unlawfully to block the road to try to
I don't know that she did.
Of those ICE agents. And that is when they kind of surrounded the car. I'm just trying to give you some background that we just learned from that press conference.
That. But I also heard an early report that said that she had weaponized her car. There's a difference between blocking traffic and using your car as a weapon.
Right. I'm not trying to imply that. I hope I didn't come across as I was implying.
Yeah, they were standing in the middle of the street.
I heard you, but that's the point. You cannot assume that her conduct was dangerous. You can assume it's illegal because she blocked the traffic, but you can't assume it was dangerous.
I guess what we're asking, Tom, is when a federal officer is accused of something, which they're not in this case yet, but if a federal officer is accused of something, like homicide, who investigates the federal officer?
Both the state and both the county attorney in Minneapolis and the U.S. attorney in Minneapolis.
And can you tell us what the difference in charges would be? Like, what would that look like if this does proceed?
Both jurisdictions have versions of murder, homicide.
All right. And can you also describe the bar that this federal agent would have to reach? What would he have to prove, or she, to reach that threshold of the car being considered a deadly weapon?
Well, that's a fact question for a jury to have, but there is no burden on the federal agent to prove anything.
Right.
That's the point. It's a criminal case, therefore the burden of proof is on the prosecutor.
To prove that it was not, in other words.
Right.
Right.
Okay. All right, well, we appreciate your insights tonight. Is there anything else you want to add or share with our viewers on this day that's turned into...
No, and it's...
Go ahead.
I'm really disappointed in our leadership in Washington that's basically told its agents to go out there and create chaos.
Yeah.
Which is what's happening.
I mean, disappointed isn't a strong enough word.
Minnesota, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you doing this on such emergency notice.
My pleasure, to the extent that there's any pleasure in this horrible situation.
All right. Thanks for sharing your perspective, Tom.
Thank you.
So,
Bye-bye.
Julie, we have someone else on the phone too, and it's apropos because we were just talking about this with Heffelfinger, and it's now that there's videos going around showing you the incident. That
was the name of their legal analyst.
What does that say? What does use of force and the law and the ability for officers to protect themselves if they fear their life's in danger or if they fear harm, or is it actually in danger?
The crowd seemingly continues to grow. DJ Dub told us it was about 500
over the last decade because of cases.
His estimate around a half hour ago.
Ed Obayashi on the phone, who's a use of force expert that we've spoken to before. Ed, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Ed,
this is a use of force expert.
Real quick so that we know who we're speaking with and your background on this topic.
So I am a deputy sheriff in California, but I also serve as a special prosecutor in California also.
Have you had a chance to look at some of the videos that have been circulating?
You mean California?
Yes, I have.
All right. Well, we'd love your opinion. What have you seen, and what do you make of it?
Well, at the outset, I have seen only what everybody else has seen at this point. And I make that as a point because I don't have any additional information to go by. But based on what I see, obviously there's going to be an investigation. The investigation will be led by the U.S. government, typically the FBI. The FBI will have jurisdiction over this investigation and no one else. The state of Minnesota can certainly investigate, but the ultimate charging authority would remain with the federal government, not with Minnesota. Minnesota has no jurisdiction over issues such as these. They can try to assert jurisdiction, but immediately the case would be removed to the federal court, and the federal court will assume jurisdiction. That is just routine. In terms of the actual incident itself, this is a fast-evolving incident, literally seconds. From the angle of the videos, we see that the firing agent is directly.
So we're probably in the hundreds now.
The vehicle as it begins to move.
It definitely looked like a crowd was gathering last time we had. This is the live shot on the left there.
So the question is going to be, did the officer reasonably believe that...
Oh, we're saying in the thousands now?
...constituted an immediate threat. Again, these situations are not uncommon. The officer, regardless of whether the...
That looks about like 100 in that immediate area, but I don't know what the rest of the area looks like.
Turn to the officer's left as it appears.
Maybe 200?
It's going to be analyzed. How quickly did this occur? Again, viewing the videos from the angles that were taken, it does appear that the officer was in imminent...
It is the immediate area, though, like the area they have taped off, so we're not seeing the whole
the question ultimately
crowd that is gathered.
Will be settled by what was the officer's reasonable belief regarding whether or not his life or the life of others were in imminent danger. So
they were showing old footage in this inset, but this was live. But they both seem to be live shots now, I think.
Does it ultimately depend, Ed, on what the officer believes as the final say? Or does the evidence and the video can it trump what the officer feels like? What I'm asking is, I believe in the video the officer.
Speaking of smoking, I think I need to
side
smoke.
mirror, right, when the shot's fired, maybe a little bit in front of that, sort of by the tire, but not in the fender. When
You're
the shots
Willie
are fired.
Nelson high.
I could be wrong,
You're
but that's what I
smoking some
saw
of
in
the
my
best
couple of
dope
glances
God
at the
ever
video.
put breath in.
So if the officer is in fact out of harm's way, meaning even in 0.1 second out of harm's way, and the car is moving past the officer when the shot is fired, if the officer still felt like his or her life was in danger, would that qualify a correct use of force? Am I clear with that?
Yes, I think I understand what you're asking. From my angle, it appears that the firing officer was just feet away, directly in the path of the vehicle as it suddenly accelerated.
But he put himself there.
The shots were, from what I understand, fired through the windshield. So it wasn't a sideways shot like through the driver's side window. Again, from the angle of the videos that I saw, it does appear that the firing officer was in the direct path of the vehicle before the vehicle started moving towards the right.
The officer may have been hit as well by the vehicle, actually. The officer may have actually been struck.
Well, he was right in front of it.
Yes, exactly. But we can't tell from any of the videos that I read.
And the officer that they're talking about is the one that comes from this side. I don't even know where he came from. It's that dude right there. He's not one of the ones that gets out of the truck that you see pull up.
It's not uncommon where an officer will relay and explain why his or her use of force was reasonable despite the evidence showing otherwise. And the evidence is, again, going to be applied, analyzed by experts, but it's going to be analyzed in conjunction with what the officer's reasonable beliefs were. And that can be supported by witness statements, his colleagues, etc.
And
time and motion.
If I could just interrupt for a second,
Time and motion,
It's important to note that that's one angle, maybe two. There are a couple videos circulating. We do know.
Yes, we saw a different angle.
ICE officers have been required to wear body cameras. So ostensibly, there will be lots of video from lots of different angles, including the officer who fired the weapon and the officer who may or may not have been in harm's way. You've got a lot of experience.
I just checked his feed, DJ. He had like a close-up of something burning.
Examples.
It didn't look interesting.
Situations where information that came out initially
Princess Kimberly, welcome in.
may not have been proven true. Is there anything that this reminds you of, or any experience you can draw on to help shed some light here?
Yes. No, good question. There are a number of cases, similar incidents where I have viewed body-worn camera footage, cell phone footage, which are almost identical to the incident at hand, where initially the video evidence would suggest to a ordinary person of reasonable, reasonable.
Go get your ears lowered, my friend.
If you want to call it common sense, that that the shooting was not justified. However,
standing up to tyranny can wait for another
breaking
time.
the video down, and then conducting the time and motion analysis, and then comparing it with how the officer saw.
It sounded like I was taking a shot at you sarcastically, but it was.
Explains why the video.
You do more than I am, for sure.
May not have told the whole story. I guess that's the way to put it,
Yeah.
because everyone has to realize that body-worn camera, these videos, whether the body-worn camera videos or cell phone videos, are only.
We appreciate your perspective
of a two-dimensional, from two-dimensional viewing angles. The third dimension, meaning the officer's perceptions, the eyesight, the senses, feel, touch, etc., the environmental considerations, is critical in coordinating, applying that to the body-worn camera video.
Yeah.
So all that has to come into play, And a lot of that is going to be based on, again, human subjective analysis and perception, which...
And oh, the irony that... and I wonder if this had something to do with it as well. Minnesota lawmakers are on Capitol Hill right now,
The reason I asked that
testifying in front of Congress about the so-called Somali fraud.
on what happened this morning in Minneapolis. One from the Homeland
On this specific day when the feds decided to ramp up their enforcement.
This person was using the car as a deadly weapon. And then you have
They cited ICE as saying this is the largest ICE operation ever today.
That is not true. He called that
quote unquote.
Exactly. He's using very strong language that basically DHS is lying, and it's very clear what happened here. Any words of wisdom for all of us who are watching?
He said it was bullshit. Would you guys like to hear that?
Federal and local authorities on. To me, this just seems as if everyone is rushing really quickly on both sides of the aisle here.
Yes, and again, whether...
Well, shit, I thought I saved it.
The federal government or the state of or Minneapolis has different information. Again, who knows? But that is very common in these situations, whether or not it specifically applies to ICE or if this was even a bank robbery and the shooting occurs. There's always going to be two sides that develop immediately after.
Get the fuck out of Minneapolis is the clip that's really going viral.
And
I'm having a hard time trying to find the bullshit. Okay, here's the bullshit one.
Given the parties involved and the atmosphere, I get it. I think we all get it. Again, it is way too early.
Right.
And I cannot overemphasize. Again,
this is the mayor of Minneapolis from earlier. This is a press conference that happened.
City, what they are doing is not to provide safety in America. What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust.
This wasn't a real. I don't know how this happened.
They're sowing chaos on our streets, and in this case, quite literally killing.
Fucking fuck. Why? Why?
What they are doing is not to provide safety in America. What they are doing is causing
God damn it.
Chaos and distrust. They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets, and in this case, quite literally killing people. So, they are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed. They are not here to cause safety in this city. What they are doing is not to provide safety in America. What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust. They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets. And in this case, quite literally killing people. So, they are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense.
Okay, now are you the full-size video? Did I fix things? God damn. Yes, there we go. Why? Why? Stupid ass shit. We heard it live. They did not censor bullshit.
15 minutes ago. It's quieted down a little bit since then. We're starting to see some more people bringing in
Steelers, you're stupid.
Instruments, loud noises.
Are you really gonna come in this stream and defend the feds murdering a citizen?
Very quiet, maybe 100 or 200 people. It has definitely grown since then. And for our viewers that are just kind of tuning in, it's definitely, the scene has definitely changed from a law enforcement perspective. This morning, a lot of federal agents, a lot of FBI, but in the last hour power to it. I haven't seen any federal agents. It's been mostly police and county sheriff's deputies who are now here keeping the scene secure so they can continue their investigation just down the street where those 3 vehicles are still smashed up against that light pole.
Next of kin, or who? What was the fight about? What was happening there? We saw a motion during our interview during the press conference, and we couldn't decipher what it was, Gordy.
Yeah, I mean, some of the witnesses were telling me that it was someone that was,
The officer is a meanie,
was,
you say about him murdering a citizen.
That was what happened. Others said it was someone that was, maybe having some sort of a mental illness situation and crossed a line, and then the crowd was reacting, and that started it. But that situation has been de-escalated, and there was no...
I shouldn't say citizen. I don't know that for sure. We don't have a
in the crowd that were
ID on the person.
But that, from what I've seen, that person is no longer here at the scene.
All right, Gordy, we're happy to see it does look like a peaceful crowd gathering and just exercising their First Amendment rights. We appreciate you being on the scene for us. We want to let you know that the governor is scheduled to hold a press conference coming up at 2:15, and we will be taking that live.
I was getting ready to say it's already 2:15. It's not.
We'll do an NBC News special report, and we'll be back on the air at 2 in anticipation of that press conference at 2:15. In the meantime, we'll be gathering more information to bring to you coming up here in 30 minutes. Stay tuned.
I don't know the point you're trying to make, man. It seems like you're trying to be sarcastic and justify the murder of an American citizen by a government thug who shouldn't have been on the street in the first place. What do you want me to say? Like, you're a fascist, dude. Own it. Like, own your bullshit. Don't come in here and be coy about it. If you want to advocate government murder in the streets, then fucking own it. That's my biggest problem with right-wingers, is that you all try to fucking play coy about everything. You speak in riddles. You never say what you actually mean. Own it. Own it, bitch. This is the live shot currently. Try to find some more local reporting. As I said, this is happening as officials from Minneapolis are testifying in front of Congress. I thought you were getting your hair cut.
So we can keep eyes on ice. It's so important, and quite frankly, I'm a big believer in...
Well, we watched the video. You can go watch it. It looks like thugs surround her and have a gun pointed at her face, and that she feared for her life and then fled.
Just fine without them, and we'll do just fine without them again once they no longer exist.
Marie, thanks for being with us. We, again, wanted to kind of call out organizations like Veterans for Peace, which is what you're a part of. 5051 is another one, just sort of regular people who are passionate about something and want to try to do everything they can within their constitutional rights to make a difference.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. So even if I give you
right now in about 5
that she drove at the officer,
teaching people how to be constitutional,
if someone
to keep people safe and prevent
masked thug
happening again. Marie, thank you.
Who does not have a warrant,
really appreciate it.
Is illegally trying to open your door, your car door. Don't you have a right to defend yourself? Because the Supreme Court says you do.
To figure out how to...
The Supreme Court says if a cop unjustly accosts you, you can go all the way up to deadly force to protect yourself.
We have plenty of people on the ground here at the scene, including you can see right now are Karen Scullid. Karen, you have a very interesting perspective. You've been there for...
Brother, you're the one that's just... See, here, instead of trying to argue your point, you're trying to come in and play rhetorical games. Oh, you guys would never justify somebody's death. Well, we don't act all high and mighty like fucking... the CEO of United Healthcare deserved to get Luigi'd.
As you mentioned, being towed away.
Absolutely, 100%. I toast to it.
Truck you can see over my right shoulder, and it looks like the one or two
woman protesting the tyranny of her government did not deserve to die.
I did an interview with a 19-year-old man.
Cut and dry, clear.
Good interview from his perspective. He was on the second floor. He was asleep. He awoke to the sounds of the ICE watch.
No, they can't.
The honking of the horn, that kind of thing.
Brother, Fourth Amendment, motherfucker, you can't.
The whole thing and what happened.
You can do a felony stop whenever they feel needed. No, literally you can't.
He had said.
Fourth fucking Amendment. Fourth fucking Amendment.
SUV was blocking Portland, so the ICE agents could not leave. She was perpendicular in the road. They could not leave. Some of the ICE agents, a couple of them got out of the car, approached her car, and that's when she was...
I even feel like they're framing it wrong, because it just seems like she was trying to turn around and get out of the way. And they didn't give her the chance to turn around. All this happened in like 20 seconds.
As she tried to pull forward, he says, to leave, that officer fired 3 times into her face.
Shot her point blank in the face. And we have a jackass in the chat trying to defend it, as if this isn't Nazi shit.
When he fired, when she tried to pull away, he said he wasn't sure. It was very close to the window. It could have been in, could have been out. He wasn't sure. But as you've seen in past cases of officer-involved shootings, we've seen that hand in the window become an issue on whether it was a justified shooting or not. A lot of folks around here say it wasn't justified. She wasn't a threat. She wasn't trying to run anybody over. But it's really unclear. I think that's probably going to end up being a crucial point in this. Was his hand inside?
Why do you people do? You upset they are not lying for them enough.
He would be dragged
do you
away.
see what you're doing?
No.
Like you're making me have to defend myself from some stupid comment you made instead of just having discussions with me.
To end up being a crucial point.
Do I defend murder?
Earlier about our experience, and it was,
murder is the unlawful taking of a life. I think Luigi lawfully took a life.
Who were protesting their presence. We were watching a vehicle, an ICE vehicle that was.
See, this is you accusing me of things. This is how dishonest you are. You're accusing me of something and making me defend myself instead of actually having a discussion with me. Because you're wanting to control the conversation and paint me as something I'm not.
It's 10 times worse. So it was. It's very, very painful. The skin, the eyes, and you're coughing, and your nose is running like crazy. But we're fine. We're fine in the end.
Why don't you defend your position instead of making false accusations
we're all
about
okay
me?
In the end. But that's been the story pretty much out here throughout the day, is the agitators and the protesters and.
We watched the video. It absolutely seemed like she was trying to turn around. And they did not give her the opportunity to leave. Again, this all happened within 20 seconds. No commands were given. A masked thug tried to open her car door illegally. She would have had the right, according to our Supreme Court, to shoot that motherfucker in the face.
But wonder if when they are towed away, if the police pack up and leave, because I believe they were.
Second Amendment, baby! That's what it's like being in the United States, is you don't have to take shit from the government. That's what this is supposed to be about.
Maybe this comes to a.
I believe in freedom. I don't believe that ICE being on the street and yelling at people and trying to get in people's cars, having guns pointed in citizens' face,
out here as well, kind of
is legal.
Watching what's happening.
I believe it's 100% unconstitutional.
And still shouting, screaming, a lot of obscenities.
I believe the American people, Second Amendment, baby, have the right to rise up and overthrow these tyrannical pieces of shit.
Kind of move a little bit. I don't know if we're able to see anything behind you, or we hear a lot of voices.
You can lick a boot if you want.
Where they're coming from.
Oh, Melissa, we'll swing the camera.
Thank you, Melissa.
I'm one of those don't tread on me motherfuckers.
Towed away, and that's where most of the gathering is. You can see there at 34th and Portland. Still have a lot of protesters here. A lot of people shouting, megaphones, loud sound.
The government can suck my fucking balls.
Car or something shooting.
He's kicking authority in the
pictures.
balls.
But this has been pretty much the story all day long. Obviously, a lot of media here as well. ICE agents moved out quite some time ago. I think they had a little difficulty getting out of here. Even Councilmember Wansley City Council Member Walmsley with Minneapolis, she was out here earlier saying, yeah, we don't want ICE here, we don't like ICE, but we need to let them leave because they're making the situation worse. So ICE was trying to get out of there, but they did have a very difficult time with people.
I heard a lady say earlier the only good ice is melted.
And now, I believe Leon, who is on the other side possibly of where you are, Karen, he mentioned possibly some people out there.
And I think she was on it was like it had nothing to do. And I don't know that the dude got it.
Have you seen that?
Because I like food content, and this dude was like reviewing a restaurant.
So targeting, some of these APD officers.
It was a woman in a booty
officials as well.
in a bikini booty a booty bikini at the beginning of it. That's what caught me. And then the dude reviews a restaurant.
Right before we got.
And he seemed like a total fucking chud. But he asked for, and I don't know what the dish was. He asked for it cold instead of warm. And the woman who was Latin American, I don't know which country she was from.
And then the ICE agents were obviously getting upset as they couldn't leave the scene.
Said, no, we only serve it warm. The only good ice is melted. And I was like, I love her.
Throwing anything at this point, just a lot of shouting for the most part.
Yeah.
But the dude in the video, it was his video. He kind of seemed chuddy.
Sessions and trying to educate people on their constitutional rights.
But might not have been smart enough to get what she was saying.
You're not able to. You're not supposed to impede the progress of these ICE agents. There are things that you just can't do according to law, whether you agree with them or not. And then of course when you see things happen,
impede this.
Seeing something, but not seeing it through the eyes of like a law enforcement officer. So it's really hard for us to sort of narrate these things, and which is why we're trying not to.
Where'd Steelers go? I wasn't done with you. Come on, man.
Really show you what's going on.
Keep saying stupid shit.
Looks like there's still a fair amount of people, although nothing near what it was a few hours ago, sort of in that 10 to 11.
You're a great example of a dumb fuck. So
time frame if things really started to get tense.
And we know with some of these observers too that you mentioned, they're going through these trainings.
We are waiting for a press conference from Governor Tim Walz
also how
in about 35 minutes.
And also how to use their phones as well.
The press conference is supposed to take place at 2:15 local time. That's 3:15 Eastern time.
About some of these trainings, because I think there was about 100 people in St. Paul specifically. Again, these are constitutional observers who are learning how to handle situations just like the one that we're looking at.
I don't see how you can justify this.
How to document what's going on.
Cop clearly tries to open door. That is a threat.
Not too far from a police.
No, Steelers, no. Once again, the Supreme Court has ruled, unless the cops have a valid warrant,
to be there,
you can use all the way up to lethal force to defend yourself. Once again, this has gone to the Supreme Court.
That is putting on those sessions if people are interested. Minneapolis was just, I believe, yesterday. There's one in St. Paul, Rochester, Mankato, and Duluth over the course of the next few weeks. So there's so many.
Exactly. It has to be a lawful order.
Trying to
that cop can't just go up to her door and try to pull her out.
The families.
What he did, 100% illegal.
Like someone like Marie, who's a member of Veterans for Peace, trying to move, legislation.
Now you might be able to argue that she was illegally blocking the road.
Right now,
I would say she wasn't, because that all happened within 20 fucking seconds, and she was trying to turn around.
Chief Brian,
it's obvious she was trying to turn around, and they impeded her ability to get out of the road. She felt threatened.
His officers are,
and in the United States, she had the right to use lethal force to defend herself.
Everybody is trying to follow the law, and then you throw in emotion and just the wild card of how things can escalate on both sides of things, on law enforcement sides and protester sides. So, and that's way more subjective.
And that's the hard part too, is because we know tensions are high at this point. People see politics and everything these days, right? So it's like you have people on both sides who think, I'm all for this side or I'm all for this side, and things just kind of butt heads, and we see that happen a lot. So it'd be interesting to see what this incident today does for, maybe across the country moving forward with some of these ICE operations that we have seen, because we know, again, thousands.
They're going to ramp up
specifically to the Twin Cities.
This is what they're wanting. They are wanting to create chaos as a pretext to declare martial law. I think he is trying to do this before the 2026 midterms.
Looking at this scene together at 34th and Portland in Minneapolis.
Yeah, well, some of the most important information that's come out within the last...
This is Fox 9. What are they, a Next Star station or a Sinclair?
And the mayor, when they spoke about an hour ago, like I mentioned, giving some really just the basic facts that we know about this case, which was that a 37-year-old woman is now dead after she was shot by an ICE agent, at least shot in the head, multiple shots that were fired according to police here. But that's basically the facts that we can report them as we know. We know this investigation is underway. The mayor came out. He said he had been on the phone with federal agencies all morning long, trying to kind of get to the bottom of this, express his concerns, and also send a very powerful message. He came out here and he talked about this message from DHS, which was trying to justify this shooting, claiming that this was...
Oh, this is actually a Fox-owned station.
The mayor, quite frankly, used some very strong...
There's not very many of them.
From what he has seen, from the videos he's seen, from the information that he's gathered.
So I know it's confusing.
And that... look at my notes here. He said that
not every Fox station is owned by, very few of them actually. Apparently 29.
And using deadly force in a situation that
29
they predicted could happen. As far
stations in America are owned by Fox News, as in the Fox News that we watch all the time and make fun of with Brian Kilmeade and Orgy Couch.
Unfortunately, that is what has happened.
But most of your local Fox affiliates are just affiliates, and they're not owned by Fox. They're owned by Sinclair, Nexstar. A local company might own them. Regional company. That's getting rarer and rarer these days.
We'll check back in with you here in just a little.
But this one actually is owned by Fox News, so... There you go.
This morning, 34th East in Portland in Minneapolis.
What? Comply. So, anytime a cop tells you something, you have to follow. Do you hear yourself? That's fascist.
In the course of the last couple of months,
the cops have to follow the law.
Exactly what they had been dreading is the way that the mayor put it. A situation like this where there is very little to no communication, really no communication ahead of time with local law enforcement because of separation ordinances, and then ICE agents coming in from different parts of the country.
Yeah, that's another thing. They did not give her any commands.
ICE agents as something as good or bad, or I know the mayor had very strong language and said, get the...
Well, Bogos, that makes you fucking stupid then, doesn't it? Once again,
toward
the Supreme Court has ruled
at the same time
you have every right to defend yourself against any kind of law enforcement if they don't have legal orders.
Just important to point out.
And what they did was 100% illegal. There was no warrant for this woman.
Is State Patrol has come in.
They had no right to try to pull her out of her vehicle. She had every right to fear for her life, and according to the Supreme Court, could use lethal force. So
these are the folks who are now kind of coming
sorry,
in.
And I can't believe bootlickers are coming in here.
Safe as well.
Yeah, the aftermath of what's happening. We've also been told that Governor...
Brother, shooting somebody in the face isn't defending yourself. Do you guys hear yourself?
We have our reporter Leon Purvis on the ground there at the scene.
So the government can shoot someone in the face just because they feel scared. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Here I have with me Trevor Heitkamp. You witnessed the...
I am stupid because I believe in freedom and personal liberty.
What did you see?
So I woke up, stepped outside of my house to smoke a cigarette. I heard commotion from about a half a block away. I walked towards the scene, and there was a maroon Honda kind of sideways in the road. and people were shouting like, "Move your car, you're obstructing the road." And the car began to back up and then pull forward at maybe 2 miles an hour. And then someone started to shout, "No, no." And then a moment later, 4 or 5 shots were fired into the vehicle. And at that point, I believe the person's foot hit the gas pedal pretty hard, and then it crashed into the nearest car on the opposite side of the street. And then after that, the surviving passenger got out of the car, covered in blood, and a man on the street claimed to be a doctor and was shouting, "I'm a physician, I'm a doctor, allow me to provide emergency medical care." The ICE agents who were there said, "No, get back, get on the sidewalk." And while that was happening, a different agent was shouting, "No pulse, no pulse." Within 2 minutes, emergency medical ambulances were here. They couldn't get in from the north side, so they got in from the east, parked around the corner. And 2 ICE agents, presumably ICE agents, carried the body from the vehicle.
And more than one, apparently.
And around the corner to where the ambulance was, where the body was given CPR and then taken away.
Now, you mentioned you live around here. That was pretty gruesome to see.
Yeah, it was. This was maybe 4 or 5 houses down from where I live.
And what's your reaction to all this? Because you're filming this in real time.
Yeah, I started filming immediately once I got to the scene, because that's what they say you're supposed to do when this kind of thing happens. And within 30 seconds of me filming, the shots were fired, and this person died for what I believe was no reason other than a minor inconvenience.
No more than one chud.
And what do you make of what you saw? I mean, what do you make of all of it?
It's so
instead of making up what you think I've done, just argue your point. You're so stupid, man.
That something like this would happen.
Stop making accusations about me.
Like this happened.
I'm right here. You can have a conversation with me.
I've lived in the neighborhood almost 4 years. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen a person die before.
That's called a poisoning the well fallacy, by the way.
We're working on getting that video for all of our viewers and everything. And, just when you first showed me it, I couldn't believe it myself.
Yeah, the car was moving forward pretty slowly. It seemed to be complying with what the agents wanted of getting out of the road. And then, I think this guy got scared for a half second about a car that he was not directly in front of. I don't know why. And then he used what I think is unjustifiable force in a very...
No cop pulled her over. What? You guys have to make up shit that didn't happen.
Now, for our viewers that are watching as the investigation unfolds.
The shooter was on the opposite side of the car from where it was on the sidewalk, but I didn't see any danger, and I think any narrative about this person ramming the ICE agent, I don't think that's true.
Thank you so much for your time. Definitely.
There you go. But the chuds in chat
from Trevor right there, Amy and Simone
are going to continue to defend it. Dude that actually witnessed it.
Trevor has sent us the video, so I will.
We all witnessed it. We've watched it.
Just a long day for a lot of people. Amy, Simone.
And thank you, Leon. And I think, it's important to just point out this is a witness
one account.
at the scene, one account, and things that were, in live.
Yeah, we don't want to hurt our narrative.
Interviewing them
here on Fox News.
Accounts, and it's not to discount anyone, but also just to understand that, that these aren't, and nothing there had been sort of substantial.
She could have ran the cop over and she would have been within her rights. Because they were violating her Fourth Amendment right. You understand that.
Showing up at the scene.
Bogos, do you know what the Fourth Amendment says?
I was not able to substantiate. It doesn't mean it didn't happen.
She did. There was nothing to comply with. There were no lawful orders given to her.
Yeah, and off of that,
you guys are defending the government violating the Constitution.
There were multiple people who mentioned the doctor account, saying that there was a doctor who was there who was trying to provide aid. ICE agents pretty much blocked that doctor stopped her from doing so. Then I think Corin also talked to someone who said they literally had to carry the body. Again, this is just an account from one of the witnesses there on the scene.
Yeah.
Mayor Fry was asked that question. He did not have an answer for that, but he did respond and say,
because literally what you are arguing is that the government can shoot you in the face just because they feel scared, not because you have broken any law, not because you are a threat to anybody.
Point after we just heard Leon's interview there, so
she wasn't trying to run someone over. You're just lying. You're trying to weave a narrative that didn't happen.
Targeted operations when rioters began blocking ICE officers, and one of these violent.
Okay, great. You're gonna justify the government shooting a citizen in the street, like fucking
kill them.
Lick that boot.
Domestic terrorism.
Suck that government cock.
For his life, the lives of his fellow law enforcement, and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training and he saved his own life and that of his fellow officers. And it says the alleged perpetrator was hit and is deceased. The ICE officers who were hurt are expected to make full recoveries.
And Reinhard, do we have that video ready to go? Not quite yet. Okay, Ryan's just checking on one thing, and then we're going to just let it play, and we're not going to talk over it.
What motive did I ascribe?
Take that in and watch it on your own. But again, that's the account from Homeland Secretary Tristino, who again was on the...
You're saying driving at him, and the dude was like she was going 2 miles an hour and her wheels were turning.
I will say that Chief Brian O'Hara of Minneapolis PD did not...
she was trying to run him over. But also, she's got armed agents surrounding her.
That this was, not self-defense. He was
yelling at her, yelling unlawful orders. She had every right to run him over.
This investigation is now turned over to the FBI and the BCA here locally to see if any Minnesota state laws were broken, and that is a standard.
I'm saying it was every bit in her right to run the dude over.
Things moving forward as far as the investigation goes. Again, we're queuing
probably
up
you
for you so that we can show you the video that we have in our newsroom here. We won't show it a lot. You're not going to
fix your internet.
We want to show it in just very deliberate ways and just let you know that what you're about to see is the entire incident where this.
Wait, did I cut out
by a nice agent? So let's just take a look.
Oh no, fucking I didn't get banned on Twitch, did I? I've not gotten any kind of notification or anything. Is everybody here? Flash, welcome in. Quesadilla. Everybody's here. Cool. I don't know. Somebody said the stream was cutting out. Sky comment said F. I'm back. I didn't even say I dropped. Okay, cool. I was worried I might have got popped. That's one of the reasons why I haven't shown the video again, because it is a little graphic, and I don't want to get banned. I'm not going to take you back over because, oh my God, they just showed a dead body.
The video, we just want to mention here, we're going to show that to you again, but we want you to focus on the beginning of that video and also focus on the vehicle. It's like this purplish, reddish vehicle. Yeah. It's the Honda Pilot.
Kind of like a maroon-colored Pilot. You're going to see it's going to be kind of in the center.
It is. They did not touch the door handle. They are violently trying to break into her vehicle.
You're going to see one is going to walk up to the vehicle.
I'm going to try to cut away before the shooting.
But there is
she was not pulled over.
Who fired the shots, and it's hard to see that person. The video goes really quickly, and it's from a distance. But there is another agent. Mm-hmm. The one who fired the shots is sort of on the would be the left front driver's side of this vehicle.
And you don't really see that officer until the vehicle.
No one initiated a lawful traffic stop. You can't say she was pulled over.
For the first time, and it's your first time looking at this video, you might be wondering, what am I looking at? Where should I be focusing on? So again, focus on that maroon-colored vehicle, the Honda Pilot, and those 3 officers out there as well. Let's play that again.
I'm gonna cut away before the shooting.
No, shit!
But you. Hassan has the ability to get bans overturned if he gets taken down. I cannot do the same things Hassan can do. Hassan makes a lot of money for Twitch. She's trying to turn around. Lets them go. Tells them to go. You can see her waving them on. She's trying to turn around in the street right here. This is not, they just touched the door handle. This is violently grabbing it.
No! No!
I keep saying 20 seconds. That was like 15 seconds before he pulls his gun. So I don't know how anybody, like, you have to be a tyranny-loving, bootlicking piece of shit to defend that. So I don't know what to tell you. We'll go back to the Fox.
The press conference begins at about 2:15.
Yeah, we got a press conference coming up in about a quarter of an hour.
Major incident like this, if you remember, over the summer when Melissa and Mark Hortman were murdered, and there was the search for the.
I got a 30-day ban for showing the Charlie Kirk video.
Just a centralized communication.
I mean, I understand. I've been brazen, and Twitch has popped me.
Centralized place where they can deploy and communicate.
And we totally have chuds watching me, so yeah, somebody might report me.
Pull all the resources together in one place too. It's a system that they've had in place, for since the beginning of time. Really, it's just what they do. But hopefully, again, the messaging tonight.
Okay, that's wild. You can't kill someone for violently grabbing.
Just respond peacefully and not escalate.
You can't kill someone for trying to turn around in the street.
Once, and that's according to Mayor Fry.
Yeah, we want to check in with our Mike Manzoni.
Aren't you the one justifying violence? And I personally, I am not as concerned with violence coming from an individual citizen as I am being sanctioned by the fucking state and wielded against citizens. Why is that not a thing you guys are concerned with? And I'm not a hypocrite. I do this under all administrations, whether they be Democrat or Republican.
SUV that the person who was shot was driving. They towed those away just a few minutes ago. Several law enforcement officers seemed to leave, especially FBI agents around that time.
Have a good afternoon, Sky Comet. Let's
police out here as well as
let's get in a better state of mind, shall we? Let's light one up, tip one back.
Just kind of watching the crowd. It's a relatively tense atmosphere. A lot of the demonstrators, protesters, whatever you want to call them, are shouting at the law enforcement officers, and they are recording them. For the most part, the law enforcement officers don't seem to really be responding. If someone has a question, they're kind of shouting it out. They're kind of trying to interact when necessary. If they have if they have any questions that they need answered.
Going 2 miles an hour.
Probably here the demonstrators
just trying to kill someone.
That's at East 34th Street.
Not trying to get away from someone violently attacking you.
Most of the demonstrators have been
illegally reach into my vehicle to illegally kidnap you. You have a right to self-defense.
Shouting at the officers, telling them to leave, telling them they don't want ICE here. Many of them asking where the shooter is, if the person who shot and killed that woman.
Yes, arrest him. If he has a legitimate self-defense claim, he can prove it in court.
Aside from the demonstrators,
I believe in law and order. I know right-wingers say they do, but they don't, as proven over and over and over again. I believe in the Constitution. Right-wingers say they do, but they prove they don't, over and over and over again.
Be there for that.
You look at a clear Fourth Amendment violation and tell me that woman doesn't have a right to self-defense. Here in the land of the free and the home of the brave. No, we're not supposed to be brave. You're supposed to just comply with whatever bullshit order the feds give you. That's what people in my chat are telling me.
It was confirmed that she was not the target of any sort of ICE operation initially. She wasn't part of that. We know that you could see the vehicle sort of blocking that roadway, and
it still, to me, looks like she is trying to turn when federal agents descend on her.
What was said, when the ICE agents
and make it impossible for her to get out of the road.
You could see that there was some sort of an exchange. He walked up on foot. Not sure what was said there. And then you kind of see her leaving that scene. And again, we just showed you that video. So hate to characterize it too much and let people kind of watch it for themselves.
Yeah, but I think people have the question.
Okay, well, you think he's justified, Bogos. Do you not think that he should face charges like anybody else would
Talking about
and be able to defend himself in court?
That, you know, she was
let a jury of his peers decide.
Blocking the street, but that's
I don't like setting the precedent that the government can murder people in the street.
The chief mentioned that she appeared to be in that vehicle alone. He did mention at the time of this press conference when it happened, around 12:30.
There clearly was an attack.
Earlier, he did say that
there were masked men threatening her with unlawful orders. Clear Fourth Amendment violation.
I've been seeing maybe the last few hours or so, crowds just like this one, just kind of gathering around watching what is happening. We know that the vehicle was towed away.
If it's justified, let him face charges in court.
Watch that live. That vehicle was
let a jury decide. Because I don't trust you, Bogos. I think you're a dumbass. So whether it's justified to you or not,
protest
doesn't fucking matter. Arrest the motherfucker. Let him face charges.
We heard from him earlier.
Any other person would. You or I would. Cops aren't above the law.
From
there was a cop in front. There was a ICE agent in front of the car. He's hard to see. And if you've only seen the one video that the news has been showing,
that this woman,
then you wouldn't see him because he absolutely wasn't visible.
Investigation or activity. This woman was in her car, and it appears then blocking the street. Because of the presence of federal law enforcement, which is obviously something that has been happening not just in Minneapolis, but around the country. She appears to be a middle-aged white woman.
Yes, if the government shoots somebody, I pretty much always think it's unjustified. I have praised the cops on this stream. You can't say that I think everyone is not justified. I have given the cops props. The chat will tell you I've probably been way too kind to cops. John Andrew, welcome in.
The question is that I had previously...
When did I admit that I was wrong? What the fuck are you talking about? Steelers, stop telling me what my position is because you're lying.
Obviously very concerned.
Do not ever say that I admit I said something or that, so your position is blah, 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 or so you believe this, because what you're doing is straw manning me or poisoning the well. You're very dishonest.
To be clear, I do not know the exact
when did I admit that I was wrong? I absolutely will admit that I was wrong.
Professional law enforcement agency in the country, I think they would tell you it's obviously very concerning whenever there's a
Can you shoot a man for violently opening a door? I don't know what that fucking means.
Is something that
I feel that you have every right to defend yourself against armed thugs trying to illegally pull you out of your vehicle. That is absolutely true. And from all indication, this is an example of it. Clearly, this woman is trying to turn around in the street. No law is being broken. There is nothing that can justify a lawful stop of this vehicle. She's waving people on. She's waving them on. She's trying to go that way and turn around. They are illegally, this is illegal right here. Violation of the Fourth Amendment. She's backing up. This dude, this is the other cop that you do not see in the footage that we watched in the footage that we watched on the other news station. No! He's the one that pulls his gun, and he is in front of the vehicle, maybe slightly to the side. He's waist with her fucking fender. Driver's side fender. Oh, shit. You can see the gun pointed point blank. Yeah, now she's turning to go hard right. You see the wheel turning right there. She's not trying to hit him. She's trying to get the fuck away from armed thugs threatening her. Bogos, I would love to answer that for you. What would I ever need the cops for? Like, okay, here's the thing, man, is like, I know a lot more cops than you do. I worked in the news business for over 20 years, and I can tell you that you know nothing about cops. They are some of the most... First of all, here's something you probably do not know. The Supreme Court has ruled that the cops have no duty to protect you. This is going to blow your fucking mind, isn't it? That's why you shouldn't talk about shit you know nothing about. Justices rule police do not have a constitutional duty to protect someone. I was a reporter. Absolutely, I was a reporter. Don't believe me? Good thing I can totally prove that. Not only was I a reporter, I was, the news director. The news director. That's why I can do shit like pull out. Cops have no duty to protect you. So what is, first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to say in 9 out of 10 times, you should never call the cops. If you're having some sort of incident, you should not call the cops unless it's a mass shooter or something like that. I was the head reporter. That's what a news director is. I oversaw all reporting on the station. I love that, like, your best attack when I make you look like a fool is that I'm balding. Cops make almost all situations worse. Do not call the cops. The cops, well, if you call the cops, especially in a domestic situation or something, there's a good possibility that someone will face charges where they shouldn't have to, and it'll ruin their fucking lives. Or the cop will come and shoot your dog, or will shoot you. That's a good possibility as well. Anytime you call the cops. Last night, we did this story. A kid was running from a deadly shooting. A kid was running from a deadly shooting, and the cop shot him. So he was a victim. He was running from a shooting, and the cop shot him. So what? Why would I ever call the cops? I actually know about cops, and know they lie. As a news reporter for years, I can tell you with 100% certainty that cops lie when they don't have to. I saw them do it, knowing the facts of a case, because I love courtrooms and shit. The chat will tell you that if you're new here. I love watching court cases. Lawyers, I'm really into it. So I would know the facts of a case and listen to cops lie to me to my face about shit that, like, didn't make them look better. Like, they weren't in the wrong. They did nothing wrong. Oh shit. Protesters throwing snowballs at federal agents running.
You could see some MPD officers.
I think this is live.
Hennepin County telling.
Oh no, this might be cops. They're throwing snowballs at the cops.
Scene, but it looks like as officers are leaving the scene, just having some protesters or bystanders.
ACAB motherfuckers. Red One, welcome in. I suck
We saw this
because I like freedom and liberty and shit. Like, I don't understand it.
Toward ICE agents.
I don't understand why you guys want to lick the boot.
But now, as you mentioned, this is MPD, BCA was on scene, the sheriff.
Like, I'm not some, like,
and as this street,
what you guys call the liberal, blue-haired, gender studies, like, pussy.
Responding to this, and now we're having
I'm a real leftist.
Of what we have been saying. What we did see.
I am all about the proletariat being armed. I'm all about the people rising up. They murdered one of their own. This community should Mussolini.
Some notes here
all of those federal agents that were on that street. That's what I believe.
Audio for
you can call that justifying murder if you want. Sure. I think murder is the unlawful taking of a life. I believe the people rising up against a corrupt government is absolutely lawful. So that's not murder.
The backseat door open as they were driving, but
I mean, you'd call me a pussy, but fuck.
And as our photographers are getting
I mean, how you gonna justify that statement? That's all right wingers do, is just say shit that they wish were true.
Right now, but we're looking at
no, you can call me a pussy, but what you really mean is like I actually get pussy, unlike you.
After a woman,
I don't know that I have the phones open.
ICE agent, she was inside of her vehicle.
We're getting ready to take the press conference from
agents outside of
Tim Walls, but this is live, and this is also fucking awesome.
Agents tried to pull in her door handle. She then ended up driving off, and then those shots were fired.
Yeah, I don't exactly hate cops, my friend. You're
kind of get at this point.
You're putting words in my mouth. I mean, you probably should hate cops, because most of them are wife beaters. A lot of them are child molesters. There's a lot more child molesting going on in the police.
Snowballs would be a new one. I haven't looked into that one. But
then you guys would like to believe
to any of these vehicles or impedes their progress to leave that scene.
And that's where things could get.
But here's the thing: is I think cops are necessary in a society.
These officers drive away.
And I also think that the people that you have to hire to be cops need to be like psychopaths.
Then we can have.
You need somebody who's not going to hesitate to pull the trigger.
Screaming on the ground. There, we have been hearing.
When necessary,
yell at these officers,
and that's gonna be a fucking psychopath. So what that means is that we should have cops and federal agents on an incredibly tight leash. Incredibly tight. We should be so incredibly hard on them.
Oh, okay. Then we lose the audio. So the audio we're hearing is from that sort of on the ground shot, and then this is just that aerial. But I think
if you let them get away with shooting citizens for
ground shot,
not breaking a law,
and watch,
then you end up with pigs that are emboldened
up a sign as well
to brazenly violate the law. And then you see things like we saw in the NYPD, where Adrian Schoolcraft tried to expose corruption in the NYPD, and they had him institutionalized, said he was crazy, but an investigation revealed he was correct, and the cops had him institutionalized for exposing their corruption.
Also, something to mention, we are waiting for a press.
You get things like Chris Dorner, who tried to expose corruption in the LAPD, and they slandered him and got him fired, and then he went on a rampage and killed a bunch of corrupt cops. We are part of the Chris Dorner Appreciation Society around here.
Some of our process.
He is a hero to us because he kicks authority in the balls.
Kicking authority in the balls. 4 hours or so out.
10 out of 10 times, I always side with the people against systems.
We still don't have
systems need to be kept in check.
ICE was doing there in that particular spot in that neighborhood this morning, specifically. Clearly, the White House is.
The woman was not trying to run him over at all. Therefore, he needs to face charges for murder.
And so we know that is happening. We know there's a big surge. In fact, the acting director of ICE just yesterday said it is the largest ICE operation ever, the largest ever. So we knew this was happening. And then it was just after around
Steelers, you're a joke.
When we heard that there may have been some sort of an ICE-related shooting, and then a short time later, confirmation.
We were awaiting a press conference from Governor Tim Walz.
And we saw the
It was supposed to happen at 3:15, but I assume
37 years old.
they are waiting because of what is going on right now. I am grinding up some weed if you want to join me.
At the hospital shortly after she was taken there, so that is all we know at this point. But the governor again speaking at 2:15, so any minute, and we may learn a little bit more.
Yeah.
By us, I mean citizens. We are citizens, the proletariat.
We did hear from Mayor Jacob Fry.
I take the side of the people against systems.
It was interesting because Mayor Fry had kind of...
I know you like the government now,
had a message to...
But what if it was a Democratic government doing
this? To this? His message earlier... He told the community...
This is exactly what Alex Jones said Obama would do to conservatives.
In his words, this administration wants to see. They want to see this sort of chaos. We heard the governor say they're doing it for the cameras. So Mayor Fry said, meet hate with love. Those were his words.
I don't like the idea of a good guy with a gun because as we saw in Bondi Beach...
And
the bad guy with a gun was actually disarmed by just a badass motherfucker while the cops cowered.
As we're seeing this area view right now at 34th and Portland of
dude got shot 3 times by the shooter while he fucking just took him down with brute force. That's a badass. The cops cowered.
To voice their concerns at this point after we know a 37-year-old woman was killed by an agent this morning.
Bogos, just a little while ago, I explained to you that there have been multiple times that I'm literally on video saying that the police were correct in their shooting.
Afterward, just sort of watching everything.
That they were justified. The chat will verify that I absolutely have said that the cops are justified. So please stop lying about me and telling me that there's no police shooting because there's evidence against your assertion on this channel.
And law enforcement crediting them with really helping to keep that environment as calm as possible. I think that may have gone a long way in this not escalating even further, and some of those city council members stepping forward and saying, they wanted ICE.
Do you hear yourself? If you shoot someone instead of charging them and getting shot 3 times, what?
Get hurt or worse.
You're a coward if you shoot someone. What? But you're taking up for the cop who shot someone.
There's so much we don't know. There's even seeing the video, there are things we can't see in that video. We see that
brother, I don't think you make any sense.
Can be used as a deadly weapon. We don't.
Okay, I finally got my weed together. Light one up, tip one back.
Shots. We don't know.
We are waiting a press conference with
the vehicle,
Governor Tim Walz.
The gun, was it drawn already? There are a lot of things that we don't know. So that'll all be investigated by the BCA, and I'm sure there will be more video as well. Looks like our Leon Purvis is on the ground right now. Leon, is there something going on that you can tell us about?
Bro, are you trying to do sarcasm over text? Sarcasm requires inflection and shit. And also somebody knowing you. If I knew you personally, I might be able to detect sarcasm over text.
Also throwing snowballs at them.
You are really dumb, my friend.
As they police left. So right now the intersection is back open. We're at 34th and Portland right now. But there's still people gathered here after police had left. And again, they were following police all the way up the street until they left here. And so we actually captured video of that as well, of people just throwing things at police and still continuing to voice their concerns and why they're out here today. So still, with police leaving now, there's some people who dispersed. So there isn't as many people as here as there were earlier. But we're continuing to monitor the situation.
I have no fucking idea what you mean by sarcastic.
Again, that's what we witnessed about in the past 20 minutes or so as we continue to talk to people.
Brother, it's going to be hard for anyone to understand sarcasm through text because nobody knows you.
Our police
Nobody knows, has any idea what you actually believe. And I can't detect inflection. I can't see your face.
if they are still there.
Sarcasm doesn't read over text, you dumb piece of shit.
Sorry, Simone, sorry, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, what did you ask me? I'm sorry.
It's okay. As we're trying to just gather a lot here, and as we're looking at this aerial shot here, we had seen.
I'm sorry, I called you a dumb piece of shit.
Like they drove away, and their vehicles are no longer there. From what we can see at this point, from where you are, does it look like all of the officers are gone at this point?
I mean, literally, my friend. Do you think sarcasm translates over text?
Down the street here, it looks like police have.
I don't know you. I have no idea who you are.
And it looks like
for the longest time, I thought you were my former best friend, Jason the Breed Creed. Honestly, I legitimately thought that. But Jason the Breed Creed died, so now I have no clue who you are.
But again, there are still people gathered here.
No idea whatsoever.
People have been here since like 10 this morning, so it's been a long day for a lot of people. And actually, you can hear whistles in the distance. There's been people on these whistles whistling consistently as I hear this noise. That's one distinct noise that has stood out here. But again, Simone and Amy, a lot has happened today here in general as things continue to unfold and as we continue to get more and more details. But clearly, the community response has been consistent. It has been on how they feel, and they did not give up until police left.
I thought you were that guy for the longest time, but he dead now.
The first time that we're seeing this video of the vehicles being let down Portland Avenue since at all today since this happened.
No, it's not DJ Dub. That's not him. That is
the people in the bright yellow vest there. They're kind of
John Prick
conducting, helping with traffic, as we're in the middle of the afternoon right now. This is a residential area, by the way, guys. There are a lot of homes up and down Portland Avenue there, so you can imagine people may be trying to get home, leaving their homes. This is the first.
Yeah, rest in peace, or piss, Jason.
All of this area was blocked off by that crime tape. So again, you were looking at some aerial shots here as we are watching people walk down the streets. Now that this street is open, people are using that to then walk down the road here as police are now gone, as Leon says, from what he sees from his viewpoint.
Yeah, and this is what part of the crowd that was behind some of those vehicles as they were kind of.
But yeah, that's who I always thought you were.
Making sure that
are you someone I know from like my hometown?
Like a march.
Do you know Jason?
Yeah, it looks like they're kind of continuing on down the street. We are awaiting, and at any moment, I don't know if we have a shot up. There it is. This is a press conference that we are told we're going to hear from Governor Walz coming up here momentarily. It was supposed to start about 15 minutes ago, so we'll bring that to you as soon as it does. He has activated the State Emergency Operations Center just to make sure that they have a singular clearinghouse. It's just part of the protocol whenever there's something like this happening.
Putting stuff in your ass.
Clear and efficient, and so that is happening as well. A little earlier, it was probably about, what time did we come out here? Was it in 2?
12:15.
12:15. It was 12:15 when we heard from Mayor Jacob Frey, who had some very, very fiery words for the Trump administration, for the ICE agents specifically, dropping some expletives, even just very, very fired up and emotional, and said that this was the experience, this was the day that they had dreaded, that they almost expected to happen, given kind of the.
Oh well, I'm glad you found the debate you wanted. I try to cover all the debates.
Get the blank out.
I mean, all the ones I got. Like I try to every congressional or every Senate debate. I try to do one with everyone.
And so we have been seeing.
Oh, okay. Because there's people that actually know me that try to troll me. Yeah, I thought you were because you kept calling me bald. That's something he would do.
This week, not running for a third term as governor. So yesterday we did hear from him for the first time since making that announcement.
Yeah, my ex-best friend.
On Monday he did not. So
stopped watching the channel. I had a falling out with him. He used to watch me every night. He was in the January 6th video that I showed last night.
ICE also.
And you showed up about the time that he stopped watching me.
The Twin Cities. Also, he tweeted on X yesterday that, I think I have the quote here, "We have a ridiculous surge of apparently 2,000 people not coordinating with with us that are here for a show for the cameras, is what he said. And this was just yesterday, so we know that agents have been going door to door. But again, in this particular incident, from what happened here today, we don't know, what kind of operation was being done here. Still a lot of questions with that, and still a lot of questions about this woman who we now know is deceased.
Too many layers to all of this to really even get into. I mean, just people's values are colliding. We have the emotional aspect of this, politics, as you mentioned earlier. That's definitely a thread in this on both sides of the aisle, and then people's constitutional rights to voice their concerns and protest in a way that falls within those rights. And then you have others who are there who are agitators, who are specifically trying to cause problems and specifically trying to escalate things on both sides of it as well. So, there's a lot.
I didn't ruin my relationship with my best friend. He was my former best friend long before I did this stream. Everybody cut him off around 2007.
The facts, the way we know them, and unfortunately, there's just a lot.
I had just been playing video games with him for a couple of years. What the fuck? Stop making assumptions. Why do right-wingers make the wildest fucking leaps?
Remember, there are things that you're seeing with your eyes. There are things you can't see. There's things you can't hear.
I need to go back to care, DJ Dub. They're probably back live. As we wait, we're waiting for the press conference from Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Yeah, here's CARE. I like them the best, I think, of the local coverage in Minneapolis. I get to know the news stations through doing this. No, I meant to switch back anyway.
Human tragedy, no matter what the facts show at the end of the day, and so you want to try to separate those, but the political aspect.
And
there we go. I was a little bit behind.
We saw the barricades being removed. We understand now that the scene of the shooting has also been cleared. Let's go to Gordon. Looks relatively quiet there right now, Gordon.
Yeah, the police have pulled out, the barricades have been removed, and everyone is...
Pulled out's one way to put it. They were kind of chased out.
And you might be able to see there's...
Y'all saw it.
Other tributes here. The crowd is now smaller than it once was. It's now between 100 and 200, where it was, hundreds before. No law enforcement presence here, whatsoever. People are now gathering around the spot of where this...
Yeah, John Andrew, and a lot of times it's projection.
Pay respects to what happened. And, a very different feeling, a very different mood.
Like they couldn't imagine somebody caring for another person, so they have to have an ulterior motive. They couldn't imagine wanting a better society and a more just and equitable society. So you must be envious of rich people.
A large group of people chasing away law enforcement.
I mean, if I was really envious, would I put my time into trying to change the system instead of actually,
that was further down.
Devoting my time to trying to game the system?
It might have been part of
to get ahead?
General commotion of moving all of these vehicles out, moving all the barricades out. Anytime, that there was movement with law enforcement that, got...
Let me go refill my drink before we get the press conference in here.
That many officers and...
Because I got the cotton mouth already and I want to smoke more pot.
Reason for that happening.
And what are you hearing overall?
Carla, darling, good evening.
What's your
good afternoon.
Conversations, the emotion level.
Not used to being on it this time.
Well, I think it's,
especially for you West Coast people, it's just barely noon.
Bubbling up in this, community for a while. People, a lot of in this neighborhood, not, wanting ice here. And then when this word broke out this, morning, there was a few people here right away, but we saw the crowd grow throughout the day as more and more people became aware of this situation. You saw that there were city leaders, pretty much every member of the Minneapolis City Council was out here, pretty much kind of a Rolodex, if you will, of community leaders here in Minneapolis, elected officials, all coming down here to try to figure out what's going on. And I think at first people were trying to kind of a wait and see, trying to see what happened. But then as the day went on and more information got out, I think the crowd got a little more angry, more agitated. But so far, we've been seeing a peaceful protest here on the street.
Yeah. Gordon Severson, thank you. We appreciate you standing by and reporting clearly for us on just a unfortunate, tragic, and wild 4 hours again in the city of Minneapolis. And any moment now, we are waiting for a news conference from Governor Tim Walz. As soon as he walks up to that podium and that microphone, we're going to go hot and listen to what he has to say. Danny, you were talking about how, what he might say next is...
Tier 2, yes, let's light one up, dip one back.
If he didn't drop out of the race. I mean, now when you take the political shade off, when you take the consequences of what you're going to say and tie it to an election, I don't know, it's kind of a roll of the dice of what's going to happen here, given the...
That's a good point.
And whom you believe is responsible for it.
I think the tone will probably be similar to what it was yesterday, but I
can't see him not being his folksy nice self, though.
Vice President Harris, and he was the presidential nominee.
We saw during the VP run that, like, he really doesn't have
because President Trump was in office, and since then his tone,
a fighting stance.
Even then, when Walz was in his first term and President Trump was the president, because they had these clashes, of course, on the national campaign. And so, really for the last year, we've seen Governor Walz presenting Minnesota as almost like a safeguard against the federal government for his electorate, for the people that voted for him. I understand it's very complicated political dynamics, but that's...
But also the VP candidate is often the attack dog. They're the ones...
Yeah, this is the same one from earlier.
And that was a role that we hadn't seen as much with the governor.
Just taking orders.
On the vice presidential candidacy, and then we saw a different side of him, and I agree with you.
We need Nuremberg trials.
I think he saw that gained traction with...
Unfortunately, this shit's going to get a lot worse before it gets better.
He was also trying to maintain a presence on the national stage right when he got back from being VP. And so you saw more and more of that. But yesterday it was pretty...
Agreed, John, but I feel like I can fight a dim.
Under a lot of stress.
So the goal is to elect as left a fucking politician as you can get, and then fight them and keep going further left. You got to...
Angry, upset.
You got to shift the Overton window back because we've gone so far to the right.
We can all try to check our emotions a little bit and cool off and let this play out without resorting to anything ugly.
We also have to talk about the timeline of what's happening here. This has something to do with the shooting this morning.
The fight would be a lot easier.
But you'll see it on social
against ICE.
Where have you been, media?
Against Kamala Harris. Now, easier in some ways in order to get policy enacted,
cover a bunch of this fraud,
but harder in other ways because people aren't going to be paying attention to it as much.
And there have been charges, federal charges,
especially the really libbers of the Democratic Party.
And then this YouTube video.
Especially the really libbers of the Democratic Party are going to be in the back pocket of the contractors who are making money off of it, are also going to be pushing for the policy.
And then you have this focused attention, then the federal government says, we're going to send...
And you've got this tension inside of the party. But I'm fine if the party splinters.
And now we have...
I don't think we're there yet. Both parties need to splinter.
Always reiterate the...
If we got 4 political parties out of this...
And how it feels.
It would be fucking nice, like the Thomas Massey style Republicans.
Seeing just the national headlines.
Certainly,
we got a leftist party out of the Democrats.
The last 6 to 8 weeks has, of course, put it in the limelight, as you mentioned, in Minnesota. Whether it's our station, whether it's others, feeding our future was a campaign issue in 2024 for the GOP, or 2022 for the GOP nominee Scott Jensen. He brought up feeding our future. Governor Walz answered to his response.
I personally, as a leftist, have come to the conclusion after years, I voted third party.
But it's just
I voted for Gary Johnson in 2012 because my rationale at the time, and I think this is perfectly reasonable, was that I lived in a very red state.
But again, to caution.
And that the Libertarian Party was the most viable party in the state that I lived in. Try to help it kind of get up to the 5% threshold.
I guess what the point I'm making is we don't.
Had I lived in a bluer state, might I have voted for? Was it? I don't think it was Jill Stein in 2012.
These things dating back.
It was.
With the national attention on the fraud, and then everything before that. The here and right now, we just don't quite know yet, and I think that it's very important to let the investigation play out so that we understand what happened.
I don't think it was Nader. I don't think it was Nader in 2012. I think 2008 was his last
It's interesting.
run.
You scroll through social media, and there are lots of videos that are coming out now, and
But it wasn't Jill Stein yet.
the division, and I know social media is not the real world, but there's definitely going to be a lot of that coming out in the next few days. Depending on which side of the political aisle you're on, you might see this differently. We just want to make sure that we're trying to maintain our...
And I agree with you, John Andrew. Deporting is absolutely a tool of ethnic cleansing.
Even if you've seen 3 videos at home, none of us...
That's not a new one, Bogos. That is, read a fucking history book.
What happened at 9:30 this morning.
Literally, under the definition of ethnic cleansing.
We'll be giving a press conference here shortly. It looks like that crowd that had seemed a bit unruly is now...
Well, okay, Charlie Kirk's wife. I can present to you
lots of people wanting
hundreds of cases of legal citizens
pro-ICE protest and
being detained, dozens being deported.
This being people almost anti-law enforcement to maybe neighbor versus neighbor who have very political views.
Targeted
and,
mass deportation absolutely is.
And this is going to be something that hopefully we can respect each other's differences in
the purposeful and systematic removal of an ethnic, racial, or religious group.
We're going to hear from Governor.
Not just killing.
But we hope the message is calming.
The purposeful and systematic forced removal of an ethnic, racial, or religious group from a geographic area.
Good afternoon. Today I'm joined by Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bob Jacobson, Colonel Schaefer of the Minnesota National Guard, and Colonel Bogojevic of the Minnesota State Patrol. This morning we learned that an ICE officer shot and killed someone in Minneapolis. My deepest condolences to the family, to the loved ones who had to learn about this tragic event on national television. We have been warning for weeks that the Trump administration's dangerous, sensationalized operations are a threat to our public safety, that someone was going to get hurt. Just yesterday, I said exactly that. What we're seeing is the consequences of governance designed to generate fear, headlines, and conflict. It's governing by reality TV, and today that recklessness cost someone their life. I've reached out to Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, and I'm waiting to hear back. Let me be clear, Donald Trump and his administration may not care much about Minnesota. That's been pretty evident, but we love this state. We won't let them tear us apart. We'll not turn against each other. To Minnesotans, I say this: I feel your anger. I'm angry. They want a show. We can't give it to them. We cannot. If you protest and express your First Amendment rights...
The Spliff Notes. Yeah, I'll catch you up right after the press conference. This is live.
We can't give them what they want. The hearts and minds of the people in this state are on our side. To Americans, I ask you this: please stand with Minneapolis. To Minnesotans, know that our administration is going to stop at nothing to seek accountability and justice. The State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension are working on the investigation. We have activated the State Emergency Operations Center. State Patrol and Minnesota National Guard leadership is connected with the Minneapolis Police Department, the St. Paul Police Department, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, the DNR, and Minnesota's Homeland Security and Emergency Management. We have activated dozens of members of the State Patrol's mobile response team. And from here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government. To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've done enough. There's nothing more important than Minnesotan safety. I've issued a warning order to prepare the Minnesota National Guard. We have soldiers in training and prepared to be deployed if necessary. I remind you, a warning order is a heads up for folks. And these National Guard troops are our National Guard troops. They're teachers in your community, they're business owners, they're construction professionals. They are Minnesotans. Minnesota will not allow our community to be used as a prop in a national political fight. We will not take the bait. We will continue to update you, Minnesota, as we get more information. Now I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Bob Jacobson of the Minnesota Department of Public Safety.
Thank you, Governor. As the Governor mentioned, my name is Bob Jacobson. It is my honor to serve as the Commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Public Safety. First of all, I want to acknowledge the reason that we are all here. The loss of life is not anything anyone would ever want. We fully expect that the community will want to peacefully demonstrate their anger or frustration. Minnesota residents and visitors have the right to peacefully demonstrate. We recognize that demonstrations are often driven by strong emotions, beliefs, and certainly a desire to be heard. Our role is to help ensure everyone can express themselves without anyone getting hurt. The Minnesota Department of Public Safety's role through the Minnesota State Patrol is to ensure safety, protect constitutional rights, keep roads accessible, and above all, to prevent harm. Our top priority is public safety. Our focus is keeping demonstrators, community members, drivers, and law enforcement safe, especially during moments of heightened tension or uncertainty. Demonstrations must remain safe and lawful, particularly around roadways. We will join with our partners to support safety while respecting the right to protest. With that in mind, I'd like to share a few safe and lawful ways to demonstrate. Minnesotans can safely and legally express their views in many ways, including getting together peacefully with others in public spaces, marching or walking, not on roadways, making your voice heard through chants, speeches, and displaying signs, being present in public gathering in designated or permitted areas, and these actions will allow people to express themselves while protecting the safety of everyone involved. Unsafe or illegal actions could result in fines or arrests. Certain behaviors create serious hazards that threaten public safety, disrupt emergency services, or put people at risk. These actions could result in fines or arrest. Demonstrating on or entering a freeway on foot, walking on highways, throwing objects, starting or setting fires, damaging property or graffiti,
throwing snowballs,
fireworks, displaying or using illegal weapons, reckless or dangerous driving, especially near pedestrians, and certainly assaultive, aggressive, or riotous behavior toward anyone. We all want definitive answers to what happened today. Our Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is working in conjunction with the FBI to investigate this morning's shooting. As you know, we don't comment on active investigations, but also keep in mind that this is an investigation as also
ICE can't be held
so
responsible
any speculation about what had happened would be just
until we retake the government, until the Democrats retake the government.
That, I will turn
Unfortunately, we have to rely on the Democrats.
We'd be glad to take any questions. Yeah, and I can let General Schaefer talk about this. It so happens it's a training weekend. We've got about 7,500 troops in training.
And even if we get to the point where we have elections and the Democrats do take the government, oh yeah, we're fucked. They won't hold them accountable.
Think about what they would need, what it would mean to mobilize, what it would mean to put them in, and I could let the general.
I can't imagine that the Democrats would just fuck it up all over again. Even if we're able to get the Democrats elected in 2026, win the presidency in 2028.
Minnesotans to hear this from me, the desire to
they'll throw a few bones.
This administration of how wrong this is, that is a patriotic duty.
Completely fuck up messaging.
It needs to be done safely, and I think the commissioner simply just laid out.
Was Walls guard? He served, but was it guard?
That we need. Simon, you want to say a few things about what that means to have them on the ready?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Governor. So for the military, Minnesota National Guard is comprised of 13,000 soldiers and airmen. We live all across and work throughout Minnesota. A warning order is just an initial step to increase your preparations. The Minnesota Guard is always prepared to respond and support state agencies and the citizens of Minnesota. So what that
It
means
seems
for
like
us today is just
the
some additional checks.
audio is just slightly off.
Ready at all times, and maybe some additional phone calls to service members who might be activated, but no activations. We are embedded with.
It's just specifically this video. I could fix it.
To just continue parallel planning in the event that we are needed.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
And I would make note, Mary, and to Minnesotans on this about the National Guard, they're there to protect you and protect your on this about. Our neighbors, they don't wear masks. They don't bust in from somewhere else. They're not here to cause. Our neighbors, they don't wear masks. They don't bust in from somewhere else. They're not here to cause hassles to you, or what we saw today, the tragedy. Having them at the ready to make sure, because when we see these types of things happen, and we saw it after the murder of George Floyd, there's folks that want to cause chaos. There's the disruptors in it. And while the vast majority of those protests were peaceful expressions of their First Amendment rights, there were those that destroyed property and put people at risk. The National Guard is there.
Yes, give us the names of the cops.
Able to be done.
The three that surrounded her vehicle.
The destruction are stopped from doing that. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and I think apparently by a federal agent, not by Minnesotans who were there to express their First Amendment rights.
Clinically, welcome in.
We've seen this to have folks ready. The gatherings that were down there today, I think this shocked everyone. People showed up as they should. There's people putting flowers down on a memorial. There's people expressing their anger. It's just as these situations develop, we decide when we need to move these people out. And I think the local reporters know well on this. Both unfortunately and for us, the upside of this is that we're very good and we've had practice at this. And I just want to, again, implore Minnesotans, I am not telling you not to express your anger or your frustrations or the outrage that we have. Look, this was totally predictable, as I said it yesterday, and it was totally avoidable. And I just want to remind you, too, that local law enforcement, we get no coordination. They don't tell us they're coming. They don't say why they're sending the largest deployment in American history to Minneapolis. They're not making us any safer. We don't have any of that coordination. They should be talking to us when we do these things. Let us know. We're going to be down here. This is going to happen. We don't have that. So when you see local law enforcement or state patrol, or if it would take the National Guard, we're there responding to the chaos they've created too, but our role is to make sure that we're protecting Minnesotans so that something like this doesn't happen. I have not. The question was, have I spoken to the individual's family? No, we do not have a definitive ID on this individual. And I look, I'm going to note to all of you, I think it's really important, and the professionals do this, and they train me to do this. This is an open investigation. You need to be very careful about it. I know that many of you, myself included, have seen a very difficult video to watch, one where there's a family member watched their family member be shot and killed in front of them. It's beyond me that apparently from the federal government, from the Homeland Security Director herself, has already determined who this person was, what their motive was, and they hadn't even been taken out of the vehicle. We're not living in a normal world. And so, no, I have not. And I want to be very careful because I know how painful this is. I know how painful it is right now. I'm saying person and all that. This is a human being. This very well is an individual's child, a parent, and we don't know that yet. So, no, I have not. But once we do, we will. So, yes. Colonel, would you like to do that? Colonel.
So the question was, how many State Patrol troopers have been deployed to the city of Minneapolis? Right now, we don't talk typical numbers because that is considered security information. We do have a specialized team that does deal with crowd control. And so they have been deployed, but again, they are from all over the state of Minnesota, so they will come in tiers to the state.
They're going to be in tears? They'll be crying on their way in?
It was in response to this event.
I'm sorry. What was it? Well, I said this yesterday. We've never been at war with our federal government. I think in this case that the National Guard is their main mission. They have a
well, I guess like you haven't. I live in the South.
They're under Title 32 orders. And this warning order, there's nothing officially been done yet. If I am to activate them as the Commander-in-Chief of the Minnesota National Guard, I will issue the executive order to the Minnesota National Guard, and then they will be put in state duty status. And as you've seen over the last few years,
just saying,
prevention that could be after a wind-blowing storm up in the north, up in Bemidji, or it could be COVID or George Floyd response. In this case, again, it doesn't necessarily change the mission. They're there to protect Minnesotans. They're there to serve Minnesotans. I think the thing that is so challenging in the moment we're in is we don't see it as
is that talk to text
public safety. We hear a demonization of our state. We see people coming in who don't.
I'm sorry, I never knew because I never used talk to text. I never realized people were using it, and now I'm starting to detect when people are using it.
It's coordinated, and some of you watch the videos on there. Total chaos. And look, I have very limited work in this is the training in the National Guard, but I've had a lot of training now to watch how our professionals operate. After this person was shot, federal agents milling around, touching the vehicle at a crime scene and things. I don't know.
I just don't talk to people.
I don't quite know how to respond to
I go dark.
The question other than my primary responsibility.
If I'm occupied, I'm usually not a message away. I will respond within hours.
Patrol or whether it's the National Guard, their deployment is there to protect Minnesota.
Yeah,
if it's an
I had a girlfriend who was
pandemic,
a grammar Nazi.
Case, if it is a rogue,
and I was like, well, it's not a bad thing to have had her up my ass like the entire time we were together.
It's unprecedented
because I do
have the federal government
things that are like it is embarrassing if you're like working graphics for a TV station.
But one more, Dana.
Oh, there is lore behind that, or
look, and I understand the uniqueness of this moment in this week, following this week, seeing what's happening in the backdrop of a show hearing in D.C. My job is to govern, and my job is to see what the facts are. This happened a couple of hours ago, and we're already pitting American against American. All of you saw a video in your eyes. We have a chaotic situation caused by the largest deployment in American history of federal agents into a community with no communication to locals. We had a chaotic situation where an individual is in their car, shot and killed. And so, look, I want to be very cautious here because Donald Trump will make this about me. He will make this about politics.
Oh, sorry, that's my bad.
This is about public safety, and this is about normalcy. To Americans who are watching this, if you're in Portland or you're in LA or you're in Chicago or you're wherever they're coming now.
I was trying to find the filter to put a blur up so I can blur the screen each time I show something graphic. That way we can still watch videos. I did.
Preventable.
My dumb ass, I'm all high over here. And I'm like, oh, they can't see what I'm doing. I'm just seeing my preview right here. Because I'm looking at this. Oh, you don't know that I have the... Never mind.
Dead in their car for no reason.
It was stupid. I'm stupid.
And I don't want to be right about this, but I said if they do this, they're going to create a chaotic situation where someone innocent's going to get killed. and they did it. And
that's
now
what they did.
hear more political rhetoric. Enough is enough. And so to Minnesotans, don't take the bait. Do not take the bait. Do not allow them to deploy federal troops into here. Do not allow them to invoke the Insurrection Act. Do not allow them to declare martial law. Do not allow them to lie about the security and the decency of this state. And let's let this investigation play itself out. Let's make sure we protect our neighbors. I encourage you to use your First Amendment rights and all of your constitutional rights, but do so in a peaceful manner. We'll gather back with you as soon as we gather more information that needs to be put out. But again, stay safe, Minnesotans, and we'll be back with you.
Listening in on Governor Tim Walz.
I think he's given up.
31st, where a 37-year-old woman was shot and killed by an ICE agent. A somber tone.
But he's still got another year on the job, right?
Sending the message that he believes this was all preventable, and he's upset that ICE was even in Minneapolis. We're going to hear a lot of
that. Or is it a year plus?
Coming out in the next few days. But Danny, decidedly,
he kind of did. He gave his.
Who was fiery and
he gave his notice.
Language. The governor decided to take a totally different tone.
Yeah, I thought the tone was different, but the message was very much the same. And I thought the message was mentioned what he was talking about yesterday.
It was a long shot. I didn't think it was going to happen.
He's positioning Minnesota as almost sort of a safe zone against the federal government, which he has called hostile, in words such as that. And so yes, his tone was very much, talking about letting the facts play out, but was not a surprise in terms of his view towards the federal government's act.
And a couple pieces of news that we did learn: the State Patrol mobile unit has been activated. They're coming in from around.
That's not sarcasm. That's what you actually believe.
Stay safe. The National Guard is on standby, preparing if necessary. Of course, the governor saying, please go out and exercise your First Amendment rights. But remember that these National Guard troop members are Minnesotans, and they're just here to keep everybody safe, and certainly hoping that everyone who does decide to protest does so peacefully.
What's also important.
Well, I guess I at least got to stick around for 420.
That this was planned by the Trump administration. He said, don't take the bait. So it's his interpretation that the president and the federal government.
Oh, Media Winch, are you still here? Do you want me to give you the one? Well, I'll give the rundown for anybody who
important for people to understand,
who needs it anyway. So this is the largest ICE deployment.
And so Minnesota, like they did
in history, apparently. Largest ICE operation ever happened today in Minnesota, and there were people out protesting it, as you would expect. I'll try to hit the content warning when we get to the really graphic part, but I'll explain to you what's going on. This is the vehicle where the victim is. You can see a federal agent here. The officers we need to keep an eye on are not yet on the scene, or perhaps the one that actually shoots is over here at this point. We don't see him appear yet. So yeah, the camera moves back over here. That other agent could have moved in, the one that actually shoots at this point in time, but we don't actually know. We don't have that information from the vantage point that we're at. They are deceased. They were shot 3 times point blank in the face. In this video, you see the body, but I will definitely not show that. Welcome in, question marks.
No!
They accost her. There you can see the other agent come into view. I don't know if this was his vehicle or if this is the agent that was behind it earlier. She's clearly backing up. And for anybody saying that she's trying to hit the agent, if she was trying to hit him, then she would have. But instead, it's a hard right turn. And I'm going to hit the content warning when we actually get to the shooting, or try because I'm scared of the Twitch moderation because of Charlie Kirk earlier.
Oh, shame! Shame!
Yeah, I missed it.
Oh my fucking god! What the fuck?
But you can clearly see there, wheels turn to the right, she's to the right, he's clearly to the side by this point. Eat my ass if you think she was trying to hit him, because if she was trying to hit him, she would have. But clearly making a hard right turn to try to get away from the thugs who are violating her Fourth Amendment right to not be accosted by the government. And she's absolutely, at this point in time, she's probably deceased. But she has clearly turned the wheels to the right. And he is clearly clear of the vehicle. And it didn't look like he jumped out of the way, because she was going 2 miles an hour as the person who witnessed it described to us earlier. There her wheels are turned to the left. Is backing up. She's been trying to turn around. This video, hold on. Let me take a different video here. This one doesn't show as much at the beginning. There's a slightly more footage at the beginning. So there you see that vehicle drive away. She has her arm out and is waving them on because she's trying to turn around. Yeah. Do you see? Do you see her waving? Waving that she's not blocking traffic. The other video cuts that off and you just see this vehicle pull up. They are violating the law. This is a Fourth Amendment violation. They do not have any warrant. They do not have any lawful reason to detain this person. She is clearly trying to get away from them.
No! Shit!
Points his gun at point blank. You can already see hard right with the tires.
Shame! Shame! Oh my fucking god!
Sorry. I know that the Supreme
Pussy motherfuckers, man.
Pussy motherfuckers, man. I love that dude.
Neighborhood! Yeah, it's a fucking crime. We fucking know it. We're here. Yeah,
I do not have the video handy. We watched it live with them driving the cops out just before the press conference that
Do you have a conscience?
Walls just gave.
This is
You guys are going to need to see that.
Time to have a conscience. This is not okay. This is not okay. Get a fucking conscience.
Can you look at me? Tell me you're doing the right thing here. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You didn't fire any weapons. Fucking your people did, man.
In the head. In the head.
I didn't do anything.
And she drove into the floor.
Murderer. You, look at me. Look at me. You can't even.
Watch out, man. Watch out.
Why don't you look at me? I thought you could do it. You owe your soul.
No, they didn't block him in, Winch. One more time, we'll go back to it. She's just turning around. She's waving them on. She's trying to turn around to go that way. Who he is. So there the tires are turned to the left. She's backing up. Straightens them out. Now he's pulling his gun right there. You can see him. You can see her tires clearly to the right. What censorship are you talking about? Clearly, right there, Will, to the right. This is right before the shot. There's the gun pointed. He is slightly off to the side. She's hard right with the tires, clearly trying to get away. One of the protesters shot in the face by a tear gas canister. I don't think it's a pepper ball. I don't think this is police. I think this is a federal agent.
Back! Get back up! Get go! Let go! Whoa! Kill someone else! Go for it! Kill someone else! Back! Get back up! Let go! Let go! Whoa! Kill someone else! Go for it!
We'll go back to local news coverage and a live shot here because protesters continue to gather, as far as I know.
Bob, I want to jump in here. I want to ask you where you're at right now. And we're seeing the images on the screen. There's that flag you were talking about being burned here. What kind of things are they shouting? The crowd that's out there, I know they're obviously not happy ICE is there. They've been talking about that. What are they saying? You know, what's the energy like where you are right now?
So that's one reason why I'm not getting too close, so I can hear all of you, because it is loud out here. It's profanities, a lot of profanities against ICE.
Bob, I want to jump in.
Yeah, a lot of profanities against ICE.
Now, and we're seeing the...
A lot of throwing of snowballs. This is fantastic.
And this is where we were told that you see some snowballs being thrown at officers and that type of thing. That happening as we speak. This is a live picture you are viewing with us. But you can see some of the agents look like they're getting in their vehicle in Portland.
Yeah, I think those are agents. I think this is the cops. This is after the cops secured the scene.
Because of what they saw ICE do here in Minneapolis. Right now what you're seeing is people walking here. We're on Portland Avenue. We were at East 34th and Portland Avenue.
So this was right before we went to the press conference.
East 33rd, and you're seeing people really trailing these law enforcement vehicles and throwing, again, snowballs and chunks of ice at these vehicles, Boris. That people feel because of what they saw ICE do here in Minneapolis. Right now what you're seeing is people walking here. We're on Portland Avenue. We were at...
Okay, so let's shift gears slightly. As I said multiple times, representatives were grilling Minneapolis and Minnesota officials on Capitol Hill as we were watching the protest, as we were watching the live shot. Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who can be my GOP mommy, James Comer apparently getting ready to announce that there are going to be criminal referrals for both Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison.
Recognizes Ms. Luna.
Thank you, Chairman Comer. Honorable Robbins, based on your record before your committee, when did Governor Walz first become aware of widespread fraud in Minnesota social service programs?
I would assume that he has been aware of it since he ran for office for governor in 2018.
By 2017, DHS investigators warned CCAP fraud could exceed 50%. What was that information elevated to the governor's office?
Yes, there was an OLA report.
Thank you, ma'am. By 2020, state officials knew Feeding Our Future invoices were fraudulent. We know that payments continued to the AG's knowledge. Did they continue to the governor's knowledge as well?
Yes.
Attorney General Ellison agreed on.
Isn't that because the court stopped them from freezing it?
For Somali political and financial support. In your personal opinion, do you believe it is a possibility that Governor?
Do you guys want to see who the head of Feeding Our Future
He at
was?
least knew about the Attorney General's agreement.
I don't.
By the way, convicted in
I don't wanna
2022 or
rehash what you
2023.
guys have spent hours answering. We know that there's a big issue with the.
This is the head of Feeding Our
So
Future.
on a number of things, I'd first like to point out, thank you for being here today, but because of your testimony and because of some of the evidence that we've seen brought forward.
Not
as well,
Somali.
I'm sure the fact that this committee, I assume, at Chairman Comer's direction, will be soon subpoenaing AG Ellison. I would like to make criminal referrals regarding Governor Walz as well as AG Ellison. As you know, U.S. Code 371 and U.S. Code 2, which deals with criminalized conspiracies to defraud the United States and establishes liability for individuals who knowingly aid or abet the commission of federal offense, includes willful blindness or deliberate inaction where duties to act exist. So I will be referring them later on today.
So that's my wafu, Anna Polina Luna, putting in criminal referrals. It is less than 4 minutes until 4:20. You're gonna join me for 4:20. Get your accoutrements ready.
Hello, Representative Luna's office. How can I help you?
Yes, my name is JustinFREAKIN. I host a show called The Troll Patrol Live. We're on right now. Like, we just watched Representative Luna with the criminal referral for Governor Tim Walz and AG Ellison. Do you know what I'm talking about? Just did it in Congress, what, 2 hours ago?
Yes, during the Oversight Committee hearing.
Yeah. I want to say, like, I absolutely do not agree with that decision. It seems like politics, but she looked fine while she did it. God damn, she's got a nice ass. Have you seen the video of her with her ass out?
All right. No.
I'm looking for a GOP mommy, man. If you would like to join me for 420. Nope. Well, I mean, at first, like, I seem like I'm a really informed constituent, right? Because I'm talking about a hearing that just happened a couple hours ago. I don't agree with the decision, but she looked fine while she was doing it. How's he gonna hang up on me for that? Nope. Go ahead, put me in alligator alligator. Oh, hold on.
High. You're smoking some of the best dope God ever put breath in.
I hit the wrong one. I wanted alligator Alcatraz. But we are getting ready to get high. Speaking of which, Willie, we are 30 seconds away from 420 on the East Coast. If you'd like to join me in having a smoke sesh, please get your accoutrements ready. 20 seconds. 20 seconds until the 420. 15 seconds. Prepare thine asses. You're John Kennedy. 420 there. This is Nancy Mays earlier.
But really, he's just a criminal. So
House
raise
committee
your
hearing.
hand if you oppose Trump's pardon of this Minnesota individual.
Ma'am, this grandstanding nonsense
This is not grandstanding.
exactly
This is
what
accountability.
Minnesotans hate about D.C.
This is accountability, and you are hypocrites. So again, I will take your
Thanks for
refusal
demonstrating my opening.
Thank you, Ariana Bresley.
She's off the
Reclaiming
rails.
my time. I'm not off the rails, please.
You are
Enough
totally
with your
off the
tropes.
rails.
Nancy,
Order.
enough with your tropes. Give me my time back.
Order, Mr. Chairman.
If Republicans were serious about reclaiming
Somebody who's supposed to disturb me. You press your time. My constituents. You have no time left. You don't get to accuse me of things that
You're out of time. You're out of time.
There's no time
You're out of
left.
time. We're done here. We're done.
Touch in out of time.
At least
Mr. Chair, she's out of time.
Time's expired.
Out of order and out of time.
Ms. Presley, you've
You all
already
are very
secured your
unserious.
MSNBC spot tonight.
I'm not
Your time's
I'm
required.
looking for
Chair
accountability,
recognizes Ms.
and you
Mays
want to
from
run
gonna be
from the
so good on
presidency
MSNBC.
Chair
of your
recognizes
king
Ms. Mays.
and this administration.
Thank you, Mr.
Chair
Chairman.
recognizes Ms.
And
Mays.
Mr. Chairman, I agree. She's
don't
going to be
care
a great
about
host on
hungry children. You wouldn't be
MSNBC.
cutting
This is
Medicaid.
my
I
time.
wouldn't want to jump in
I
front of
reclaim
Ms.
my
Mays if I
time.
were you, Ms.
I
Presley.
reclaim my time. This is my time.
I wouldn't want to interrupt Ms. Mays. It's her time. Chair recognizes Ms. Oh.
Mr. Chair,
You're out of order.
she did not get all of her time.
Mr. Chairman,
She
she's
wants
still
to
out
insult
of
us
order.
for 10 more seconds.
What do
Your
we have
time
to
is
do to
expired.
get this
Chair-
woman in order?
Her time is expired. Chair recognizes
You're
Ms.
going to
Mays.
be great on TV. You're really good. No, baby, you're not. No, baby, you're not. You are not in order. You're out of order. Goodbye. You're done.
No, baby, you are not.
Chair recognizes Ms. Mays.
Are we good here? Mr.
I'm sorry, I'm muted. My apologies. I want you guys to notice something. I searched for dead air having motherfucker. I searched for Nancy Mace's phone number, and it is no longer on her website. Do you think I had something to do with that? I just called her, and I did I Googled her phone number, and it was on the main page. Do you think I had something to do with that? And do they think I'm dumb enough that that would stop me? I was a news reporter.
Congresswoman Nancy Mace's office. How may I help you?
Good afternoon. My name is JustinFREAKIN. I'm a host of a Twitch and YouTube show. You're on with me right now. I called a month or two ago, and I just Googled your guys' number, and it was on the main page of Nancy's, U.S. House profile, and now it's not there. Did I have something to do with that? Did you take it down because I called?
I'm sorry. I don't think so. No, I'm just an intern. I just started working here.
Well, I think that's kind of weird that you wouldn't have the phone number to where constituents could call your office. It sounds borderline illegal to me. Don't you kind of think so?
I cannot speak on that matter. I haven't been able to talk about that with the Congresswoman, but I can definitely refer your comment to her, and she could get back with you.
Yeah. Please, because she needs to have her phone number clearly displayed on her congressional website. I feel like that's wouldn't you say so, for good constituent services, that her phone number should be easily accessible?
I still cannot comment on that, sir.
Well, can I talk to your supervisor?
I will make sure to pass,
Can you escalate my call?
Hold on, give me 1 second.
Okay, thank you. Are they just gonna hang up on me? I stumbled when I was introducing myself. That's made me cringe.
Hi, I'm sorry. They're currently in a meeting at the moment, but I definitely will write your comments down and submit them to the Congresswoman and the rest of the staff.
Cool. I have one other question.
Yes.
Has Nancy put any thought into being my GOP mommy? I think she has a really nice rack. I would like to slap them titties.
A titty slap! What the? Come on now.
Was I lying? Was I lying? You can say a lot of things about Nancy Mays, but you can't say she doesn't have a nice rack. Can absolutely be my GOP mommy. I think she's freaky. Since she took to airing out her dirty laundry on the house floor, I kind of know what she's into. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really not, though. Dougie. Well, what kind of dirty laundry of mine can you air? Like, what about me can anybody say that would surprise anyone?
Offer car, and I'm gonna leave. But you know,
that's why I could never have a scandal. Like, there is nothing in my past that can come out about me that make you guys be like, yeah, that's just Justin.
Some follow-up questions?
Not shocking at all.
Yeah. Are you okay?
You're Willie Nelson. You're smoking some of the best dope God ever put breath in.
Yeah, guys, I was arrested twice in my teen years. You want to guess what for?
I didn't see a lot of things happening, but it's like it's been a long time.
You want to guess what? It would take a while. Guess.
American is like something that was like totally senseless seeming.
So a friend of mine sent me the video.
I feel like this might be the dude that called them pussies.
Oh, that's from the other side.
Yeah, from the other side, from around this side.
Yeah. You can't see the shooter from that side.
Have you seen the video?
Did you see that? You see that white shirt in that window?
The first time I was charged with possession paraphernalia, DUI, there's some other shit, careless driving or something. Some bullshit.
Just listening to a witness on the ground there at 34th in Portland.
The second time,
he was in for a moment.
I talked to Matt about charging him with DUI. I just got second offense possession, second offense paraphernalia.
Conversations happening. It's just because we
wasn't even mine. I wasn't even high.
Together here.
I know that's hard to believe.
This is
that it wasn't mine and I wasn't high.
He was there. He said that woman that we saw in this video that I think
but that is the truth
at this point was trying to leave versus
I mean we had smoked earlier in the day. I'd been high 4 or 5 hours earlier.
Violent rioter is what she said. So again, we have been saying this kind of continuously for the last few hours or so is, you know, we have the tale of two sides at this point. We have this video that
remember my friend I was telling you about earlier, Jason Debris Creed, who was here last night,
that people
popped up last night on the January 6th video.
President Donald Trump also tweeted, but we have all watched these different kind of videos and we're all coming away with different perspectives.
He and I were photographers.
His perspective there. We have had our reporters just kind of placed.
I had just got hired on with
we know right now
Walmart Portrait Studios. It was like my third week back.
As the police.
Third week back from having a DUI and having my license back, and I started this new job.
Protesting.
I got him a job there, and I was training him wherever we were at, 7 hours away.
We want to take you to one of the interviews.
When we were leaving the hotel, we smoked at the hotel.
He spoke with.
He was like, "I have a bad feeling, man. I want to leave everything here in the hotel." And I'm like, "Nah, man, let's take it with us."
I woke up, stepped outside of my house to smoke a cigarette.
So this is an eyewitness.
About a half a block away. I walked towards the scene, and there was a maroon Honda kind of sideways in the road, and people were shouting move your car, you're obstructing the road. And the car began to back up and then pull forward at maybe 2 miles an hour, and then someone started to shout no, no, and then a moment later 4 or 5 shots were fired into the vehicle. And at that point, I believe the person's foot hit the gas pedal pretty hard, and then it crashed into the nearest car on the opposite side of the street. And then after that, the surviving passenger got out of the car, covered in blood, and a man on the street claimed to be a doctor and was shouting, "I'm a physician, I'm a doctor, allow me to..."
Ooh, do they cut away before he says
care?
She wasn't trying to hit him?
Agents who were
because they played this. This was live earlier.
On the sidewalk, and while that was happening, a different agent was shouting, "No pulse, no pulse." Within 2 minutes, emergency medical ambulances were here. They couldn't get in from the north side, so they got in from the east, parked around the corner. And I saw 2 ICE agents, presumably ICE agents, carry the body from the vehicle halfway down the block and around the corner to where the ambulance was, where the body was given CPR and then taken away.
Yep, they did cut it off.
These witness accounts, again, we heard one just right before that, too. We always just want to say that that is...
Holy shit.
Who was there through...
Right after that, he says, "I want to be very clear. She was going 2 miles an hour. She wasn't trying to hit him."
Law enforcement goes through the video, and, there's a lot that we don't know at this
point. Great job, Fox News.
Everybody is saying, but
this is an actual Fox News-owned station.
Anything as fact when we're sharing some of these accounts. We wanted to go through a couple of other things here. I know we want to talk a little bit about use of force. Did you want to do that now, or do you want to, I can, if you want to get caught up on that, I can do something here as well.
Did we want to, or Ryan, did you want to go to what's going on the ground? We just want to make sure we're not missing anything. Okay.
Do you know where?
So maybe we could, where's that? Okay.
Yes,
so
this is the live shot.
The scene again, or is this?
Okay, so this is the scene right now. So we have, at one point we saw people walking down the street as law enforcement was making their way off of the scene. We saw people just kind of, gathering together.
We estimated a few hundred earlier.
Where people have kind of just come together in crowds here because at this point of where this woman crashed, and I believe this was at the specific area where she did crash, there was a memorial that was just kind of already put together there, some people laying flowers, but But this is kind of what we have been seeing the last couple of hours. It's just kind of hard to tell from here. I think everybody's just kind of standing around. I'm just trying to see if I see anything different. I might see some signs. We've seen some flags earlier today as well, but this is the aftermath after what happened earlier this morning. Yeah, 34th East and Portland in Minneapolis is the location here. Started around 10 o'clock this morning is when we first caught wind that there may have been an ICE agent involved shooting of some kind, and then we still don't know to this moment why ICE was there specifically, who they may have been looking for, but we know, according to the police chief in Minneapolis,
we know it wasn't her.
Who was shot and killed in her vehicle. A 37-year-old white woman is all we know, was not the target of that investigation. She was there, and when she was there were just ICE agents who were there. It was pretty early on when this happened. You can see her.
Okay, honestly, what I would say to that is we have been in far worse turmoil as a country.
Blocking the road.
Specifically the Civil War.
We won't show you here right now, but you can see kind of what transpires there.
You know, there was a coup attempt against FDR.
So
the civil rights was an incredibly brutal and bloody era.
That happened
Reconstruction.
In the first couple of hours, as tensions were starting to escalate, we saw a lot of protesters, showing their frustration, throwing snowballs at the cars, at the agents themselves. At some point, the ICE agents leave.
I don't want to be doomer about anything. We definitely have an uphill climb ahead of us,
because now they're responding to what was happening. And we know that there's separation ordinances in Minneapolis. Minneapolis employees, including the MPD, cannot get involved, collaborate with these federal operations. However, when
Portland being across street isn't helping the story. This is in Minneapolis.
Life is taken, when there's property that's damaged
on Portland Street.
The local law enforcement can move in, and that's what happened at that point. So even after ICE left the scene, primarily what we had were local law enforcement officers, and these are MPD, Hennepin County Sheriff.
I think it gets worse before it gets better.
FBI, local.
We're in for a few more years of some really dark times, but I think
at 5 o'clock, I believe there's a vigil
coming out on the other side. We are going to be better off.
5 o'clock, we understand that we're going to be hearing from the Secretary of Homeland Security, Christine.
And I wholeheartedly believe that this is because we didn't properly deal with Civil War and slavery. We're seeing the reverberations of it throughout history.
Here now for a press conference at 5 o'clock, which we'll bring you as well, and we share
a lot of converging factors. The capitalist system collapsing.
After the events transpired,
we're in a paradigm shift. And things are messy.
Some targeted operations, and they say that one of the violent rioters.
I don't know that he doesn't get off anonymously. He has a really good lawyer
to kill them, which they call an act of domestic terrorism. And
I think the incompetence of this administration is the thing that is going to save us.
Through some of the
and unfortunately, that's.
And one of the things that we're looking at, Amy, is
that means that we don't have a solid opposition.
Under that, so
it means it's going to be up to us to build
the information
a coalition following
the DHS, the policy,
the fall of this tyrannical government.
Together, so DHS's policy generally prohibited discharging firearms, because this is going to be the big question, the legality of this, as we all have watched.
No, we should just rise up and
what is allowed.
Be the country we've always said we were.
And the accountability. So DHS's policy generally prohibited discharging firearms for the purpose of disabling a moving vehicle. It says the Department of Justice's policy has an exception. That's number one, if the subject in the moving vehicle is threatening deadly force against the officer or another person with means of other than the vehicle. Or number two, if the subject in the moving vehicle is threatening deadly force, excuse me as I exit that, is threatening deadly force with the vehicle.
Yes, Netanyahu needs to be brought to justice, hands down.
Defense is available. So I can imagine, as we are just trying to digest what happened earlier today, and we've mentioned people are going to have different perspectives of what happened, even after watching, some of the same video. But it comes down to, what is technically legal, you know, in that instance on the ground.
Right. There's the legality, and as one of the we talked with a protester earlier who has been on the ground and protesting, doing their best to educate others as well, Veterans for Freedom, to protest in a way that is within their First Amendment rights. And they said one of the frustrating things is they are documenting, they are finding things that they believe are not being done legally. They're bringing those videos and the documentation to law enforcement and to city officials, and they're running up against brick walls as well, they say. So there's a couple different layers to this. One thing I did want to mention as well is one of the things I thought was really interesting early on, especially as the tensions were starting to really bubble up and you just weren't sure which way this thing was going to go. It had already turned deadly, and then it looked as though it could get worse. We saw early on some of the city council members in Minneapolis and other city leaders coming to that.
Tell me this shit is legal. Come on, tell me this shit is legal.
Let go! Let go! Whoa! Kill someone else! Go for it! Kill someone else!
I like that it just pissed him off.
Let go! Whoa! Kill someone else! Go for it! Kill someone else!
See, the officer just assaulted him.
Whoa! Kill someone else! Go for it! Kill someone else!
This is America. Yeah, this puts us in control of Greenland. Dustin, what's going on?
From President Donald Trump, if we can cue this up here so that we can take a look. So he said that I have just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer, who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Based on the attached clip, it is hard to believe he is alive, but is now recovering in the hospital. The situation is being studied in its entirety, but the reason these incidents are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis. They are just trying to do the job of making America safe. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of violence and hate. And we have been talking about this over the last few hours or so of how, you know,
radical left violence and hate
has become so political because we have, as we mentioned, you can watch the same video and get two different perspectives and from two different sides. You heard the president there talk about the left, and then you have people saying the right. And so we just want to be very careful in what we're saying and what we are presenting to you. We are presenting what we are exactly seeing on the ground there. We have several reporters out tracking what is happening. Cornhugger is one of those reporters. He has been out there since
Cornhugger
this morning, talking to people. He spoke with a witness on the ground earlier this morning. If we have Corn, we would love to hear from him to see where he is now and what he has gathered.
Cornfucker?
Like we're working on getting Corn. Governor Walz also just speaking here in the last hour or so, basically, you know, saying I called it. He said just yesterday that this was a fear of his, and then talked about the National Guard members who are kind of in standby mode right now. About 70.
Somebody told me all the founders were teenagers the other day, and I was like,
so he's
motherfucker, Ben Franklin was like in his 60s.
The Trump administration, no more. They're not welcome here, and we have our National Guard standing by.
Jefferson was like 30-something.
Didn't quite call it a warning shot, but it was kind of like just to let you know this is where we're at. Corn is ready now. Let's check in with him. Corn, we haven't talked to you in a couple of hours now. Let us know.
Yeah, he looks like a Corwin.
Together.
Corwin White.
Continue to talk to people.
That's this guy's name.
Event and the before and the after. And so actually, let me, you've probably already seen this scene as it's developed since we last spoke, but this is kind of turned into a vigil, a space where people are just, honoring the woman who was shot here. They have, I think it's civilians who have shut down the street here on Portland, just north of 34th, between 34th and 33rd, and they're just standing there and looking.
You take your 33 and a third,
where the woman's car or her Honda Pilot there eventually just ended up. And it's been, it's quite a crowd that's gathered out there right now. And I have talked to several of them. Many of them are neighbors who live around here. Some of them, a lot of them came.
I think that math is right, isn't it?
In the Twin Cities metro, but these folks here now are mourning the woman who was killed today. I can tell you, going back to the start here this morning, the sounds of car horns and whistles have tended to follow ICE agents as they move around the Twin Cities metro. It's a concerted effort to, identify their locations and share that with neighbors, and also, in some respects to harass them and let them know that they're not welcome here. And that was the sound that a lot of the neighbors here heard this morning on Portland Avenue. They say that they hear that relatively frequently, but it tends to move away from them also relatively quickly. This time it just stopped, and that's why they were concerned and started looking out their windows or coming outside. To a person, about 10 people I've spoken to now all say that they came outside, they saw, the last one portion of this or another, but
he's been rambling.
That they stepped out, they saw and heard gunshots, and from their perspective, nobody was at risk and nobody needed to get shot. That's what they said. I'll actually just hear from one of the witnesses about just kind of what he saw leading up to the gunfire here.
And I watched as a third person in full camo come and pull several times on the door handle, at which point the red vehicle reversed a few feet and started driving around, and the person who was by the driver's side originally, not the man who pulled on the door, but who was originally there, shot through the driver's side window 3 times.
And one of the things he also told me was no, absolutely not.
David Christian, thank you for being a freaking follower.
We heard the gunshots. That was echoed by just about everybody who lives on the east or the west side of Portland Avenue here. As I went door to door talking to neighbors, they universally had that opinion. There is a video, however, from one of these yards here that shows an ICE agent. You can go ahead. Yes.
What a gentleman.
One video there, though, that does show an ICE
Corwin White over here.
That vehicle, and then the woman moved again. According
Do you need a dedicated dick in your ass?
Down that road there, they did see that, and they had a different opinion about how that went down. But again, everybody seeing this has their own perspective on this, and they come at it from their own unique perspective before this even happened. But their take on the west side of Portland Avenue here was that that was an unnecessary shooting.
All right, Corin, thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
All you gotta do is ask.
Pointed out too, and as we've been kind of saying throughout the coverage, and I think it's worth just repeating, is there are also legal issues here that we are not experts in and wouldn't pretend to be, but there are, even if you see something and it appears like you come to a conclusion, the law may not be aligned with what you're thinking and feeling. So just really important to remember. There's just a lot here to take a look at.
She's saying facts don't care about your feelings, Snowflake.
There's a lot to sift through, right? He talked about, some of those videos being shared, but you also think of Portland as a residential area. You can imagine people have Ring doorbell cameras, the cell phones in addition to that. So law enforcement will have to sift through all of that information, all of that video, to pinpoint exactly what happened and, yeah, what can hold up legally in court as well. We heard from Governor Tim Walz today. We heard from quite a few people. We already heard from Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara, as well as Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey. But we did hear from Governor Walz at around maybe about an hour or so ago. He called this day predictable and avoidable, and we want to play that for you so that you can hear it in its entirety.
Yeah, I guess at this point they're just filling time. Kara is playing the mayor from earlier. I've got a Smokey hopping up here on the desk. He really likes to be in my lap when I'm doing shit. Barnacle, welcome in. He likes to get in my lap at the most inopportune times. He's so silky. Like, he's soft, but like Maynard is soft like one of those really soft blankets you get. Smokey's like silky. You're silky smooth, aren't you, Bubby? But man, are his claws really fucking sharp. Razor goddamn sharp. The White House says all options are on the table when it comes to Greenland. My God, the world we live in. Including diplomacy, so there's that. The White House is standing by President Trump's interest in Greenland, saying all options are on the table as the administration weighs a potential acquisition of the territory that's controlled by Denmark. All options are always on the table for President Donald Trump as he examines what is in the best interest of the United States. But I will just say that the president's first option always has been diplomacy. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters on Wednesday. Her comments come amid growing alarm among administration critics about the masculinity of U.S. foreign policy following the military operation in Venezuela on Saturday that led to the arrest of the nation's president, Nicolas Maduro. Trump has repeatedly voiced support for the U.S. acquiring Greenland, dating back to his first term in 2019. Trump has said Greenland is vitally important to the U.S. Priorities in the Arctic and expressed interest in the territory's large amounts of rare earth minerals. Right now, Greenland is covered with Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. Trump told reporters over the weekend, "We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security, and Denmark is not going to be able to do it." Marco Rubio.